collections journal is, well, one, it's a long-term collections journal, so it's gonna last me a long time, but two, because of that, it kind of gets neglected a little bit. I have this kind of running list of things that I want to set up in here, which I keep on this page here, and I kind of just don't get around to doing it. So today, that is what we are doing. Hello, good people. Welcome along to our live stream where we're going to make a bunch of long-term collections in my long-term collections journal. Now, if you haven't been introduced to the long-term collections journal, it's kind of what it sounds like, okay? These are collections that I intend to keep for quite a while. In particular, they're ones that I know are going to last me or be useful for longer than the life of just one of my regular journals, okay? So when I first started this one, my typical journal for everyday use where I write like daily logs, monthly logs, that kind of stuff would last me about 6 months. So any collection that I was thinking, hey, I'm going to want to use this for longer than 6 months. I'm realistically going to want to probably have it for like a year or even more than a year, that kind of thing. Those collections end up in here. So at the start of my journal, I wrote myself this little kind of like, I don't know, what would we call this? It's kind of just like a list of considerations, I suppose, to make when I'm thinking about what I'm going to put in here. So these are the kind of questions that I'm asking myself in the sense of like, does this actually belong here? So am I going to use this or need this collection in 6 months' time or longer? Is this reference material that I'll want to keep long term? Is this a tracker that will be used over a year, like for longer than just a year? And is it going to be like a swatch for pens or materials that I use often? Will I actually keep up with this spread? Okay, so we're thinking things like pen swatches for sure, so those are all in the back. We're thinking things like long-term lists of movies that I want to watch and stuff like that. So those guys are all in here because I don't want to have to rewrite all of these lists out every time I make a new journal. I'd rather just have all of the movies I want to watch in one place and then I can come back to it and check them off as I actually watch things, that kind of stuff. Other things are, here, let's have a flip through. So, index, because this journal is not kind of chronological in a time sense, so I felt like I needed to have an index. We've got collection ideas for the journal, things that I might want to put in here, bullet journal themes that I might want to set up at some point, probably have to go through and make sure I still want to do all of those. Birthdays and holidays. The interesting thing about birthdays is that some of these I don't necessarily care about anymore. So if I were to start over, I might not necessarily put this one in, or I would just have birthdays that I really, really know that I care about. I'm not sure about that. Holidays, that's all good. We have my apocalypse, or kind of like long-term bucket list, or things to do before the apocalypse. Monthly layouts and weekly layouts. So this is stuff that you can include in a monthly setup, and this is stuff that you could include in a weekly layout. Like if you did a weekly spread, this is the kind of stuff you could include in that. Then we've got probably my least favorite series of pages in this journal because they just don't quite match the rest of the journal. But we've got TV shows, movies, books, games, and skills to build, which I haven't filled in yet. So this is the kind of stuff that this journal gets. The things that I might not necessarily populate all at the start of setting it up, but it's the kind of thing that I can come back to time and time again and add things to it and that kind of thing. So some pages look quite full, some pages are a little bit more empty, but today, flipping all the way forward, we're going to set up a bunch of these. Now you might have been able to pick that we do have a kind of color order going here, and it's a kind of reverse rainbow. So you see like this one here is blue, then green, then yellow, then orange, then red, and then pink. Even though pink isn't part of the rainbow, I like it as a transition color. So pink, then purple, which means that this next one is going to be blue. Now, I need to get me some pens. Yes, the question of what color, get out, size journal is this, is that it is an A5. A5 is my preferred size, so I decided to use it for this one. I need some Tombos. Yeah, this was from the Valentine's box, I think in 2021? No, that sounds too late. I'm not sure. It was a couple of years ago though. a little while. So I need to pick out some pen colors which means I should probably refer to my swatch. I've got this very attractive little flip out of my Tombow reference here so that I can see what pen colors I need, mainly so that I can see it regardless of which page in the journal I'm working on. So because I want to do blue, I'm probably going to go with, yeah, 5, 3, 5. And I also like to have a lighter color to pair with it so that I can do every second line, but none of these blues are quite light enough. They're still a little too saturated, which means when I go and do the lines, if we show you the last time I did it with this blue, all the way back, you can kind of really start to tell when they go wonky, and I don't really like that. So I want a dark blue that's really pale. Does that exist? Yes, I will find one. So I'll flip that back in. A dark blue that is really pale. So thankfully, in the back of this notebook, I have my pen swatches, and earlier this year we were doing some swatches by color. So I have a full page of my blue pens, which is quite helpful. So all of my blues, we're looking for a blue that is pale but darker. So I'm thinking of something like technically Dewdrop, except for the fact that this is the fine end of the Artranolf calligraph, so it's not going to make that nice thick line that I need, which is a bit frustrating. I do have Crayola 51, which is like a pale grey blue. AOC Periwinkle isn't the worst, but it is quite grey. So it kind of looks like Tombow 553 is my best bet, and I'm just going to have to be super careful. Yeah, there we go, like undertones, it's like dark blue that's pale. Yeah, like, there's too many color things, eh? It's like, we have to think about, like, whether it's a warm tone blue or a cool tone blue, and like, the saturation of the blue, and then the value. Is value the one that's how light or dark it is, compared to white and black? Flipping on back, though. So, this collection here that we're setting up though, this is going to be for reset ideas. So when it comes to my weekly, monthly, yearly reset processes, what kind of steps could be included in those? Although I have kind of semi-established processes at the moment, I'd like to have a space to jot down any other ideas, so if I want to do a revamp of it, I can come here and think about the stuff that I could include. Down the bottom here, it's very faint, maybe hard to see, but this one says the reset processes, or purposes, sorry, boof. Reset purposes, so I can outline the kind of differences between them, so I can kind of keep that in my mind when I go and jot down these ideas. So that's kind of what I'm going with. So we'll put in our headers. So the headers that I use in this journal are all done the same way. They're kind of a mixture of a simple capital and lowercase lettering style, but all of the letters are the same height. And it's just like something that's a little bit fun, a little bit different, but it was something that was super easy that I could keep fairly consistent throughout the entire life of the journal, so that I didn't have to have, like, I don't know, a particularly difficult style of lettering to keep through the journal. I wanted this journal to be super easy to set up to kind of encourage me to use it more, so that's why I went with a much simpler lettering style. So, reset. That was a little bit skinny, but that's okay. So if you haven't already told me, what are you working on today? I, as you can probably tell from all of the rambling that just happened, am doing some collection setups, but are you working in your journal? Are you doing some other, like, householdy bits? Are you just chilling, and this is just for the vibes, because that's cool too? I would love to know. Alrighty. ID... capital E. I've gone a little bit off where my pencil is, so I'm kind of like trying to form these letters on the fly, which is always a safe bet, right? We're not gonna make a mess of this. I mean, making mistakes in this journal doesn't bother me too much because it's fairly easy to fix. Alrighty, so weekly reset ideas. Yeah. Journal in your bullet journal. Interesting. I assume you mean like long form journaling with that question. Monthly. Oh, crocheting. Nice. I'm like, crocheting seems to be very big at the moment. I don't know if that's just like because it's showing up more on my feed at the moment, but people make some really flippin' cute crochet things. There we go. T H. So the reason for going in with pencil, even though this lettering style is fairly forgiving, is that sometimes having certain, capital versus lowercase letters next to each other in a word, once it's finished, makes the word look a little bit strange. So I wanted to make sure I went in with pencil first to make sure that the words actually looked okay before I lettered them in. I can show you an example of what I mean in a second once we're finished lettering this out. But I find that certain combinations just look a little bit odd. And also, I find in particular it's when I have a double letter. So like for instance in weekly, like we've got a lowercase and a capital E next to each other, but they're both E's. And I'd prefer them to be different, but sometimes putting the capital first versus putting the lowercase first looks odd a certain way around. So yeah. Weekly reset. ID years. E. And you can kind of see from the word reset and the word ideas, I'm trying to do them a little bit differently each time. Make it a little bit interesting. Alrighty, so we've got weekly, monthly. This one's going to be yearly or like annual reset, but I wanted to put yearly. Yearly. See, because obviously there are some capital letters that look the same as they do to their lowercase friends. So I don't think that I have in this journal done a capital Y that is like the 2 lines down to a single line. It's all been this one, I think. I'll probably prove myself wrong by flipping back through, but I'm not going to do that right now. Yearly. Reset. One of my soft rules for doing this style of lettering is by making the first letter of each of them the capital version of the letter. And then typically the second one is lowercase, but not always. Reset. And capital I for this one. Because, yeah, these two are different because the E's are going to be different. I do know that I asked you guys a question and then I haven't read the answers, but that's just because I cannot letter and look at comments at the same time. That S was a little bit too short, but that's okay. If it bothers me, I will fix it, but right now I don't think it's too terrible. It might just be from the angle that I'm looking at, it doesn't look too bad, and then when I actually bring the journal a little bit more up close and personal to my face, I might be like, okay, yeah, actually that is not great. We might need to fix that. So I've already got 2 with capital T's. I'm gonna do this T as a lowercase. Reset. Purposes. So I've been thinking a little bit more about the idea of like the differences between a daily, weekly, and monthly log and what we actually use them for, and kind of getting a bit more specific about how I want to use each of those layouts so that then they are all utilized more fully and kind of just like not duplicating information. I think that there's nothing wrong with duplicating information unless it like holds you back from actually getting stuff done effectively. Like If duplicating information in your planning system means that you're more likely to remember it and more likely to do it, totally fine. But if duplicating information means that things fall through the cracks because you think they're in one place but they're actually in another place and then you're not sure where you've put things, that's a problem. So I want to get a little bit more specific about how I use each of these different layouts, like my weekly, my daily, all of that, so that then I know what goes where. Get that kind of picture sorted in my mind. Similar idea with this. Okay, so for my different resets, like my weekly, monthly, and yearly, what is the actual main focus for that reset so that then it's not doubling up? Yeah? So why would I do a weekly reset? What are kind of my like expected outcomes? What do I really want to achieve through doing that reset process? Similar idea with the monthly, because I don't want them to be the same purpose, so that when I get to the end of the month, it's not just like, okay, we do a monthly reset, we don't do a weekly. It's like technically we would do both because they would have different targets for each of them. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. So now as we've done our beautiful lettering and that ugly S, but it's fine. I'm actually going to have to bring it closer to me. Do I hate you? I'm undecided. You can stay there for now, but you're on borrowed time, my friend. So getting rid of our pencil. I'm trying to do a thorough job of it because half the time when I erase my pencil, I swear I leave some behind and then I find it like months later. And you're like, oh my god, Jess, what a mess. What a mess. There we go. And I actually quite like this eraser. I wasn't using it because I was just like, oh, it just looks kind of like eh. But then I recently pulled it out to, I think, prop up the edge of my journal. And because it was on my desk, I ended up using it as a razor. But I find that with the erasings that it produces, it balls them up quite nicely and makes it easier to get rid of compared to my other eraser, which sometimes makes things a little bit more individual and small. And then I've just got like, I don't know, arts and crafts dandruff on my desk, which isn't so great. Alrighty, I asked a question. I'm going to go and have a look at what you guys had to say. So I've got, oh yeah, watching the South Africa vs France Rugby World Cup quarterfinal. Nice. Alright, penciling out some spreads for 2024. So when January starts, you're not overwhelmed. 100% fair. I so need to start thinking about my 2024 setup. Let's see. Getting ideas for your long-term collections journal while getting ready for D&D. Awesome. Alrighty, we've got, oh yep, currently updating your budget. I so need to do that. I've decided that I was originally going to just do it once a month, but I think it's going to have to be twice a month so that it's going to be done a little bit more regularly so it's not quite as big of a chore. Let's see. Set up through the end of the month for this morning. Nice. Yeah, I'm starting to think about, well, I should already have started to think about what I'm doing for November. So I have to map out what I'm actually going to use in terms of pages for that. Let's see. All right. Let's see. You've been asked to set up notebooks for other people, so you have to order them. Yep. I don't know if Vogel wants me to make him one for next year, so I need to ask him. But yes, yes, 100%. It's the dandruff of the arts and crafts world. So, in terms of this one, this is going to be those different things that we've just talked about. So I think that. Okay. Flipping back so I can kind of show you what I mean. When I do the page layout, I either do it like this, where we have like little sections that I fill in related to some kind of like topic. So we did that here. We also did that on the Make Time Tactics menu, and I've done it in a couple previous ones. Or I do one big outline around the page. And I think that for this one, I'm not going to want to break down each of these into different sections. I'll probably just write them out as I think of them, because if I try and break it up into sections, then it gets like super granular, and I'm not really for that right now. So instead, I'm just going to do an outline around the outer space. We're going to do that for each of them, and for the reset purposes too. So, just to check, do I want to bring that the whole way down? Clunk, clunk. So this one sits one line above, so I'll do the same thing over here. So it's going to come down to this space there. Put a little dot there to remind myself to turn, because I like to do rounded edges on these boxes, just so that then it looks a little bit more soft and I can go with the whole hand-drawn kind of vibe for it, rather than trying to rule things in, and then ruling with a Tombow makes a mess, and yada yada yada. I am going to bring you... I feel like I need to bring this one up and around, but I'm just going to bring it to here for now, so it matches the other side. And then I'll bring it higher if that ends up looking strange. That looks alright. That's okay. I can deal with that. This guy just comes all the way down to the bottom, so that's nice and easy. And the same on the other side. And I think what I'll end up doing is, so that I have ample space for lots of ideas, for at least the weekly and monthly, I'll do 2 columns of things that I can write in. For the yearly reset, I don't know. There we go. And reset purposes. Reset purposes, I think I will just keep it to 1 line the whole way through, like a full horizontal, rather than on these ones where I'm thinking about having possibly 2 columns, just so that I can kind of write longer sentences. Now we're turning the journal around because hanging my hand off the edge of the notebook over here isn't the business. So that one goes around and up. And I feel like I do want to bring you all the way over, so I'm going to. Which means I'm going to do the same over here. I'll explain that with a little bit more detail in a second. So... I brought that one all the way to the top though. Do I usually do that? Yeah, no, I usually do that. Alrighty. I'm in the know. I understand how I do things. No, she doesn't. She's forgetful. She lies. There we go. So, for my previous pages, when I have a title that doesn't go the whole way across, if we just, first of all, put the cap on this so that we don't draw on things, but if we go to, say, the groceries master list, right? You see how this line comes all the way to the top and goes all the way over to where the header actually is? It doesn't just stop, like, here or whatever. Similar idea with this one, for instance. It comes around and goes all the way to that larger section of the title. Same idea for the checklist. For the gaming ones, because I had written the gaming related bullet journal layout ideas, it came to the edge of where the related bullet journal ideas was. So we're going to be doing this type of a thing for each of those headers. When it comes to this one though, it's like all the way at the top, so probably didn't have to bring that one all the way up, but then it didn't look like it matched. This guy should probably come up a little bit higher. There we go. As should that one. And now we need to go put in the bottom lines as well. Notebooks ordered. Excellent progress. Yeah, I'm having a crisis. It's a very first world crisis. But I don't know what I want to do for my notebooks for next year. Normally it's not so big a deal, because normally I'm usually quite set in my ways. Like, I know what I want to use, because I usually just start the year with an A5, but this year I'm just like, ooh, do I want to start the year with an A5 or do I want to start it with something else? Do you have a link to your grid spacing guide? Yes, not on me at this very second. Do you mean the grid spacing calculator, like the item in the shop, or do you mean the video where we talk about grid spacing guides in general, I guess is my question. Those are 2 different links. Let's see, go all the way across. Whee. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Alrighty, so we've got our little boxes. They're looking pretty groovy. And I think we decided that we were probably going to go with the Tombow. We're doing 553. Oh, the problem is this is a new one as well. So this is going to be like super punchy. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. We just need to be careful. Let's see. Alrighty. So I calculated that one. Alrighty. I will find you a link. Please hold, caller. I mean, if it's my little shop items, all of my little shop items are just at Jashii.com. Nice and easy. But the grid spacing calculator is at this link here. Okay. So When it comes to doing multiple columns, we want to make sure that we stop at the central mark, which is 6.5. I need a pencil. You know, despite cleaning up my desk yesterday, it's already a mess again. So we'll put that in there. And for the monthly reset, we will do the same. The monthly reset is usually the one that's, I'm not going to say the biggest, because that's technically the yearly reset, but in terms of breaking it down into the most steps, I think that the monthly reset is probably the bigger one. Also, we're 25 minutes in and we haven't even had a tink break. Tink! Right. Mine is not open yet, so let me play you the sounds of my people. Oh, yes. Oh, it's beautiful. Proper tink. Tink. Much better. So those two are going to have 2 columns. This one is going to have undecided. So when I do multiple columns, let's see. Sometimes I like to separate them with a little dashed line, and I think I'm going to do that this time. See, this wasn't, the index was a dark blue one, and I just used this pale blue, which I don't really like. Like, that doesn't look quite right. Oh, I also did the paler color border for these ones too, but I did a dark border here. Well, hey, we're just changing things up left, right, and center, aren't we? Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, okay. So, sounds like my people and I've arrived. Tink! Yeah. Excellent. Oh my gosh, my pen lid just broke because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. That's right. Pour one out for our fallen brother. Tink. That's okay. I just need to remember not to put it on the end of my thing here, otherwise it'll rip more. We don't want that to happen. So, I'm trying to be very careful. Oh my god, it's so saturated. Which means that if I go cattywampus, it's going to be so noticeable. I'm just trying to think that, like, you know, once you write over it, you won't notice so much. It'll be fine. But for now, I'm like, no. It's going okay. We're doing all right. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. I'm going to go find that blue so that I can put the divider in as well. So this comes from my little stash of Stettler Tri-Plus Fineliners. And I think we'll go with this one because it looks like it'll work. A line and then a dot. That is a very dark blue, but it's fine. It's fine. Put a dot in between all of them. And we might as well do this one as here as well while we're here. Now this one's not going to have the same number of niceness, is it? No, it's not. Because this one is one row deeper. Just because of how we've divided the pages. That is fine. You think of the tree. What's the tree called? Like the Whomping Willow? Yeah. Cattywampus? Yeah, that makes sense. Goodbye pencil. Looking very nice. And now we go back in with the lines that I'm very worried about. Because, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, when I do these, 1, I am not as neat as it looks. But 2, the reason that it doesn't look so bad is because I always use a really light, pale, like, colour that you can barely see. So if it does go cattywampus, it's just a lot harder to tell. So when I'm using something that's this saturated, it's a lot more obvious when I start to get a little bit more wobbly. There we go. I don't usually use this finger to steady myself. I'm just being particularly cautious. There we go. But just a finger. We don't want to like have like too many cooks in the kitchen and like double hold my hand to draw the lines on. Just the finger helps. Yeah. So same idea with this one. We're getting towards the end of the page here, so it's a little bit trickier. So you know when you're like trying to think through a process? For me, this is, back to me trying to pick my journals for next year. And your brain just starts throwing out all of these completely crazy ideas. My brain's like, why don't we just do like the first journal of the year is just like super, super minimalist. Like you just go back to your quote original bullet journal method, just a black pen, get out your LT 1917, and I'm just like, ugh, no. you would be so bored. Like after a month you'd just be like, nah, I'm done. This is lame banana. But this is just my brain trying to be like, hey, we'll just like make the solution for you by presenting new problems. Because no, I do not want to do that. There we go. Cute. Let's see. Yeah, wobbles are natural. Yeah, see, I don't mind masking lines for something that I want to be very, very crisp, very, very straight edged. But for doing it for an entire page, it's just like, oh. I did that in February last year when I did the sunset themes with each of the banded colors. Like, absolutely not again. That was way too much effort. So we've done 2 columns for these ones. And I like the way that looks. I think that's going to be enough space for each of those. When it comes to the yearly reset ideas, though, I am very much thinking that I don't need that much space, do I? Now as I'm thinking about it, maybe I do. So, it's the kind of thing that, like, if I don't use all the space, it's also not the end of the world either. Like, I can put in a plentiful amount of space, and if I don't use all of it, that's okay. Like, we've got my page about like things to do in different amounts of time, so like my 5, 10, 20 half hour layout, and that one is very barren, and like it's got some stuff in there, but it doesn't have, it's got a lot of extra space in it, and that's just because I haven't come back in and thought about things that I can put in to it. Like this one has 2 columns set up even though I didn't put a divider in as well. So anywho, so flipping around, doing our lines again, being as careful as possible, even though we instantly went outside the lines there. So yeah, we kind of rely on having light colors so that it's not so obvious. And also, as long as the majority of the lines are tending in the direction that they kind of need to go, we have the cheerleader effect. So they kind of just look the part because they are all together. There we go. And I said at the start of this pen is new. Like, it's not actually that new, but it's not been very used. Monica gave it to me after having not used it, but also having stored it very well, so it's still very punchy. But this would also be a little bit, I'm going to say easier, but not necessarily. If it was a pen that was already used quite a lot, it's just going to be slightly less saturated because of the fact that it has been used. But as you use the pens more, over time, the tip starts to fray just a little bit. So that means that then, like, you don't get a really nice kind of one line. You end up with these little kind of like lines off the side. I hope you understand what I mean by this, where you have like little fluffy bits on the end of the pen, which means that it kind of like just makes multiple lines with these like little kind of extra bits on the side, which isn't really the business. This guy is going to be great because we have to go the whole way across. But we can do it. We have the technology. We're just going to be careful. Whee! Whee! The worst part I find is when you're drawing your line, you can kind of see that it's going off, but you're kind of committed to where you were tending towards, so it just kind of continues going off. And it's like, no, you would have been better to like stop, put it where it's supposed to be, and then go and fix up the mistake. But often we just don't do that. We're just like, oh yeah, I'm just committed to this line that's not going where I want it to go. Oh, oh no, oh dear. The hard part about doing that, like stopping and fixing with this type of thing, is that when you overlap the tombos, they just go like darker in that section, yeah? So, for instance, like that's one pass over and then that's like two, and you can see that we have a distinct darkening of the line in that area, which isn't really what you want with what we're doing here. So, anywho. And one more. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Oh dear. Oh dear. That went a little bit cattywampus at the end, but just like a tiny bit. So I think all in all, it actually doesn't look too bad. Like comparing this to what I did on my KonMari checklist one, which does not look as good. I think this is also a different color pen, possibly. Yeah. There are two pens that are, I think one of them's 553 and one of them's 535 or something. No, whatever. 553 and 533, and they look really similar, but when you actually put them down on paper, they do look different. I don't know where the other one is actually. Oh well. Da-na-na-na. So, where is he? Where is he? He looks great. I'm so pleased. Yay! Okay, we do need to make sure that we add this into the index though, and we're going to continue to do that as we go. So this is page 47 and 48. So I just list out 47 in my index. So turning to the index, on page 47, we have my reset processes. Or like reset process brainstorms almost. And I'm pretty sure that this pen is running out of ink. 47. Okay, so that's pretty cute. I don't actually know if I'm going to have enough space in this index. Like, I think I will. But for instance, on this page, we had 4 different sections, yeah? And rather than writing in 4 different things like weekly reset ideas, page 47, monthly reset ideas, page 47, yearly reset ideas, 48. No. We're just saying that this here is my resetting brainstorms, okay? So they're all just sitting there looking cute, looking pretty. Now, I'm not going to populate it just yet because I want to have a bit more of a think about it, but we can flip on over to another layout, and this one is the shit I say layout. And this is something that I've been meaning to make for ages. You know when you just get into a habit of saying a certain phrase, and it kind of like slowly becomes part of your general everyday speak? I want to make a layout dedicated to those things. So for instance, things that I have recently started saying are things like persnickety biscuit. I am a persnickety biscuit. And the general idea is that a persnickety biscuit is a stand-in for like, I'm a picky bitch. So biscuit for me is just bitch, yeah? So, because I was like, I need something that's a little bit more like, I don't know, YouTube friendly to say. So I like trained myself to say biscuit. So in terms of the color of this one was a dark blue. So I want to move on to a punchy pale blue. So we're going to go with this pen here, and we can put in our header. H. Asterisk. T. Because there are certain phrases like you notice yourself saying it, and then sometimes it sticks around forever, and sometimes it doesn't. So try to think of one that I used to say a lot that I didn't stick around anymore. I'm glad that you've got persnickety biscuit in your lexicon as well. Because yeah, there are phrases that they don't stay with you for all time. They come and go. So I think it'd be nice to have a log or a record of the stuff that I kind of notice that I say a lot, but it doesn't necessarily stay with me in the long term. Like there may come a day where persnickety biscuit is retired type of a thing. Like some of my previous phrases. Like at the moment I am really like just a lot saying get good scrub. like anytime something like slightly inconvenient happens, or when Vogel says something slightly like does something or says something that's slightly silly or dumb or whatever, he does the same to me. Like we're both just going like, get good, scrub. Like, you know, drop something on the floor, get good, scrub. Let's see. Okay, in these previous ones, like these ones I've got the punchy outline, but then in these previous ones sometimes I've have the light outline. I might need to bring that back for this one. That one's punchy, you're light, you're light, you're light, you're light. Like lighter than the title, that is. Like this one is still like pretty punchy, but compared to the actual header, it's not. So light, light, light. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go with a lighter one. Now, in terms of the color of the pen, the header is 515. So we could do like 515 and then 452 for the border, and then do like a 451 for each of the lines if I want to put the lines in, which I think I do. Alrighty, we're gonna go with you to start with. We'll do our border. Let's see. Yeah, you have a shit ton to do today. Yeah. Like hair on a biscuit. Whee! So when it comes to doing my horizontal lines, where I'm trying to, you know, do every second line a certain color, those ones I'm usually a lot more kind of careful with. These ones, not so much. I'm just like, yeah, you can be a little wumpy. It's all goods. It's fine, it's fine. And this one is going to be a double page. And this is where it's kind of annoying if the dot grid doesn't line up. I don't know if you can tell. Like we'll zoom you in a bit by bringing the book really, really close. Can you see that the dot grid doesn't quite line up between these two pages? Like here in particular. Like, oh no! But it's fine. Doesn't matter that much. As long as I can kind of make it work with my border, it's really not that bad. Okay, so we need to make sure that I set my focus back to the journal, not to the tip of the pen. Otherwise, sometimes this happens. It's like I'll be drawing after I've done like a zoomed in section and I forget to reset the focus to be like set to here, and then it's just like focusing in and out. It's very frustrating. I assume it's very frustrating for anybody who watches my videos too, because like, boo hiss. That's not the business. Whee! And a curve, looking cute. And we turn the journal so that it is in an orientation that is more pleasing. And whee! Whee! Smack. Cool. Excellent. Okay. So, this is why I like this style in this journal, is that like this is already technically set up. Like this is good to go. We can just use it as it is. But I am going to go and put in some of those beautiful lines. We're just going to make sure that this is the right color pen. No, that is too punchy. I don't want that one. I want something paler. 451, how pale are you? Ooh, you might even still be too punchy. What about this one? That is so pale, but it also feels like it's drying out. So let's give it a shakedown. If you're wondering what this is linked in the description box. In preparation for this video, I went through this list of, 550-ish layout ideas, and just checked off the ones that I'm like, oh yeah, I might be able to make one of those today. I might be interested in setting that up in my journal. But yeah, that one's just linked in the description box if you wanted to nab it for yourself. It is free. You just have to put in your name and email to receive it. Okay, is this saturated enough now? I don't trust you, my child, but the other two are like they're too much. They're too much, so we're gonna do this one instead. Okay. Now, you sir line are going here. Oh gosh, that was so off. Can you see that? I know you can't because it is so pale, but just know that that looks awful. But the best part is you can't really see it because it is so pale, and this is why I usually use the really pale ones, so that when I inevitably go outside of the lines, they don't show up quite so much. Oh gosh though, guys, it's bad. it's not good. Like, just the first one. I always love it's like the first one on the page. You're like, cool, this is ruined. Nah. That's the thing. Like, because it's so pale, once I write over the top of it, I'm literally not going to care. It is not going to bother me. But at the moment, yes. Once I start writing on it, not so much. I need to get a new version of this pen, though. I think that this pen is on its way to the other side. I can see that it's not really playing the game right now. The top part of the pen is really struggling, so we're just shake it down. Yeah, there we go. That's not the business. Yeah, I need to put that one in. I'll have to make sure that I add that in. Don't let me forget, because I am very forgetful sometimes. There you go. We've shaken the colour down, so now it's a little bit more saturated. I can actually see it. We've gotten some ink to the pen tip, but I do need to write down that I need to get a new version of this pen. Don't let me forget that either. I need a sound-activated virtual AI that I can just be like, hey, tell me not to forget this, but tell me when I've finished setting up this page. So I need you to keep tabs on the fact that I am setting up the page. Because I can ask Siri, but Siri is not just voice activated. I've set it so that Siri has to be like held. You have to like hold the button in to talk to her, because otherwise she just like listens at inopportune moments, and you're like, go away, Siri. Nobody asked you. Like, it's like where you have to try, like, if you're talking to Alexa, you need to like not use her actual voice if you want to talk about Alexa, but not have her listen. So you're just like, Shmashmexa. Like, Shmashmexa, what are you doing? There we go. So this guy is that one. I want the lines on this side to line up with the lines on this side. I want them to be in the same places, but this side, the lines are going to come all the way to the top? Question mark? I feel like I need to do it here too. I'm going to do it here. Done. I did it. There we go. Sorry. Whee! So one of the things that I find with doing this as often as I do in my journal is that I often use the side of my hand and the side of my journal as kind of like a guide. I like butt it up against here. But I start to get like micro paper cuts on the side of this finger. Not to the point where it actually hurts, but to the point where I'll pull my hand away after a, vigorous journaling session of doing many horizontal lines, and it'll just be like all cut up and all flaky and gross. Very pleasant to talk about. But yeah, not to the point of being painful, but it's just because of that repeated motion of having my hand rub up against the side of my journal, and the paper being so very aggressive. But yes, there we go. I'm so glad that we're actually setting this up though, because I've been meaning to set this up in my journal for yonks. Many moons have passed. There we go. And I find that, like, this type of thing, I'm probably going to put one phrase per line is the general idea that I have for it, which means that over time it will get filled up, and I'll just have to set up another one. Yeah, anywho is one of your sayings. Oh my gosh, yes. And there was one video that I was watching back for some reason. I think it was a live stream, and I said anywho so many times that I was just like, this is cringe. I am cringe right now. I think that what I'd like to do, because I think I've done it in some of these previous ones, is do a little dot or kind of like circular bullet for the side of this, because I don't think I'm going to have any phrases that I say that are super, super long. The longest that I probably have is lies slander salamander, and that's not going to take up a full line, so we should be fine with it. I need a Stettler. I think I'm going to go with aqua blue, which is 34. Are you 34, child? I mean, you don't have a number on you, so You're not neon then, I guess. Because neon is like, I don't know, even more punchy. And this is why we have the swatch paper, Jess. Just use the swatch paper. Okay. Yes, that looks fine. We will do that. So we're going to go and put a circular bullet at the start of each line. And if I end up not needing one, I'll just fix it up. I'll just put a little thing over the top. It's all good. So, am I going to use the top? Probably. I'll just put little phrases here. But I don't want to use this one, so I'm going to go there. That looks cute. So we have plenty of spaces for things that I say repeatedly. Dee 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 dee. See, I want a dot pen that does these little circles for me. Like little open circles. You know those little punchy markers that you used to have as a kid? Yeah. Distraction counter, yeah. Distraction counter I use exclusively for you guys. In my real life, I don't count my distractions because the number would depress me. So if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, you may have seen in my story from yesterday. But okay. On Saturday, it's currently Monday, on Saturday, my friends were coming over for crafty day, so I was like, okay, this is a really great opportunity to actually make those cookies that you've been meaning to make for literally years. So we're going to make some cookies so that we have some people to share it with, and it'll be nice, because Vogel doesn't really eat cookies. So I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity, like, people coming over, let's make some cookies. So I made cookies. I made a point to count them, mainly because the recipe said that it made 45, so I was like, okay, let's see how many it actually made. It made 43 cookies. So I made my 43 chocolate chip cookies, felt very good about myself, been meaning to do it forever, like, it was like, baking was like a self-care task for me. And then, by last night, I finished my cookies. They were all gone. And I'm like, I know I didn't, like, my friends didn't eat that many. So what the heck, Jess? You ate every single freaking cookie. Or, like, you didn't. You had some friends help you. But still, so many cookies. I was just sitting in bed, like, full of cookies and guilt. And I'm like, I am sad because I just, like, I wanted my cookies to last longer so that I had some little snacks for the week, but all the cookies are gone. Where is my pen? Because I need to use the new one, because this one is gone. It's gone to the great beyond. This one is new. It is good. Yeah, see, it's better than the cookies going bad, but I was like so sad. Let's see. Okay, so we need to put in persnickety biscuit. Persnickety or persnickety? Interesting. I've never had to, like, really write it out, haven't I? Alrighty, let's go see. Purr. I'm feeling persnickety. Itty. Why not? Biscuit. And this one here is going to be lies, slander, salamander. And we're gonna have to put get good scrub. And we're gonna have to put in that's a future me problem. There we go. Nice. Cattywampus. Yeah, cattywampus needs to be in there, but, like, how do we spell it? Because is it catty or is it caddy? Cattywampus. Let's go ask Google. Cattywampus is how it says it's spelled. Wampus. Cattywampus. Better. I like cattywampus. I think it's a great word. Let's see. Was there something else that I was supposed to... Yeah. Spell check. I thought it was wampus. Yeah, I say it like it's wampus. So, I mean, maybe it's just my accent. I don't know. Cattywampus is great though. Alrighty, let's see. What else would I say on a regular basis? It's one of those things that it's like, as I say them and as I notice them, I'm just gonna put it into here anyways. Yes, that's not the business. There we go. Oh, and tink, of course, with asterisks. Tink. Speaking of a tink, we haven't had a tink in a while, and I'm thirsty. Tink. Alrighty, it's good to know that I spelt persnickety wrong, but spelling things wrong is kind of the vibe, so, like, it's cool. Bippity boppity back the truck up, yeah. And also, like, don't worry, it's just my feelings you hurt. I say that a lot to Vogel. And he goes, oh, that's good then. I'm like, wow, you double hurt my feelings. Bippity. Boppity. Boppity has two, right? Why not? I mean, these are things I say, so why not? Back the truck up. Bippity boppity, back the truck up. And on the struggle bus. I've been hit by the struggle bus, and wow, rude. Yep. Alright, what did I say? Like, don't worry, it's just my feelings you hurt. Oh, I'm a wizard. Come on, guys. Like, just my feelings you hurt. I'm a wizard. That's right. Let's see. Like, hit by the struggle bus. I already love this collection. I'm so happy. Nice. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that for now. Make sure that the pen's dry so that it doesn't transfer to the other side, because this is a new pen, so it's particularly inky. So this is the quote shit I say list. So on page 49, we'll put that into our index. Put it up the top here. Up here. Little dot. So page 49. Shit I say. And this is one of those ones that we get to check off our list as well. We need to find the right pen color though. So on this one, you can see I clicked. I checked it off with the wrong color here, so I need to make sure that it's the right color. I think it's this one. That looks about right, because shit I say is a list idea. So I need to tick that one off. Da, 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 da. Done. Bueno. Yeah. We also made the gaming spreads list. And we made the make time tactic menu. Not today, but they have been put in here, so that's all good. So making our way downtown, flipping back. Oh, so cute. So we have our yearly reset ideas, blah, 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 resetting ideas in general. We have the shit I say, love it. Cool, calm, and collected. Yep, we need to put cool, calm, and collected in there. We love feeling cool, calm, and collected. There we go. Dry. So that looks good. And then, as said, I can just add to it as I kind of notice these things that I say quite often. And as I bring new little phrases into my general everyday speak, they can go into here. Love that for us. 451, you were in the pencil case. I've got all of my pens that I'm using at the moment just kind of shoved in here. These are the little pen collection that I'm using for my October setup, so that then I don't have to go and fish out the right colors. There we go. And this guy here was the one that we were doing for the horizontal lines, and I need to get a new one, 491, which means I need my regular journal. Me regular journal. I need to flip us back to here. Okay, so I need to get, what was it, 491. I keep a little kind of shopping list at the front here, so as I need / want things, I can just put them here. Yeah. Oh, yes, we need anywho as well. We'll put anywho in, and then we're moving on. Then we're moving on. Okay. Anywho. This was the old pen, wasn't it? I need to put you far, far away, child, because you are not the business. You do not have any ink in you. All right, looking good. So the next one that we wanted to set up, is my social experiences wish list. This is effectively like a place that we can, what's the word? Like anytime that I have an idea for something that I want to do with friends or want to do with other people or whatever, I need to write it down so that I don't forget it. Like, we want to go to high tea, I need to put it down. I want to go camping with my friends, we need to put it down. That kind of stuff. You guys are too good at this. We're going to have to flip back and write these ones in. Bye for now. And of course, we love savings. Because we do. There we go. Excellent. Okay. So, yeah, it's like an outing ideas kind of a thing. Because I was wondering what to actually call it, because I've been calling it experiences wish list in my hair. My hair? No, I haven't. Ew. In my head. But that's not necessarily specific enough, I suppose. Like, it's very much about hanging out with other people, and it's stuff that I want to do with other people. Because if it was just like experiences wish list, it could be like, I want to go and do a float tank. I don't really want to go floating with other people though. That would feel weird. So the difference between this one and my kind of personal, like, wherever he is, he's in here somewhere. This guy, okay? So this is the apocalypse, stuff that I want to do, and a lot of those are kind of experience-based. This one is experiences with other people, yeah? So, yeah, it's kind of like a hangout bucket list. I like the idea of that, hangout bucket list. So I've just put it down as my social experience wish list. Hangout bucket list, it sounds kind of cool, though. Alrighty, we're taking a tink break while I think about this. Tink. My social list. That's cute. Let's see. So, words. Let's see. Social experiences. Fun with friends. I love that. It sounds like a podcast. There we go. Making memories. Yeah, because it's very much about like connection time. So it's like a wish list for social connection, but it's like experiences that I want to have with other people. So it's not just like hang out with insert name here. It's like go and do this thing with people, if that makes sense. Just like sitting here punching my fists together to try and figure it out, but that hurts, so I shouldn't do that. So I think I might just trust my gut on this, and I might just go with what I wrote. I think that for the color on this one, I want to go with like a teal color, because the last time I did a teal was this, and I don't like these pages, and I really should just like stick them together. But it would then just become like one ultra fat page, so I'm not going to. But the last time I did teal was that time, so I think I want to do a teal color on this page here. So if I'm going with a teal, I'm going to go with maybe 403 looks too similar to 515, but then 373 looks a little bit more teal-esque. 407 might be a little bit too dark. I think that 373. Where are you? 373. There we go. Because yeah, the thing is that when I write a title on these pages, typically it needs to be something that's very easily understood to my future self, so that when I scan my index, I know what they are, yeah? So for instance, we have how often should I? Like, that's pretty self-explanatory. Wish lists, things to do in X minutes, like those all kind of make sense to me. Pages to make is probably one of the more vague ones that I have. Oh yeah, we got to the full of cookies and guilt part. Nice. Let's see. What other ones do I have that are a little bit more vague? No, I think that most of them are fairly straightforward. So I think that keeping it as something like social experience wish list is going to be specific enough that it kind of makes sense. Yeah? The chum bucket list. You guys are very good at this. Like, if I called it the chum bucket list, I wouldn't not be able to think of, like, fish food. Like, fish are friends, not food. So, SOCIAL. So, previously when I've done a header that has like big text and little text, sometimes I put the little text in with the tombow, sometimes I put the little text in with a fine liner. And I'm thinking that for this one, because I did the tombow for this one, the tombow is going to be too fat and then it's going to look weird. So I'm going to do the fine liner. And for that fine liner, I will probably use this color. Let's see. That one versus that one. Yeah, they match quite well. So we're going to do that. So this is my social. I'm going to write it quite big. Bigger than I usually would. EXP. Peer. IENC. Social experience wish list. There we go. Now, when it comes to outlining the page, we either are going to do the same color as the header, like the same tombow, or we're going to go and do a lighter one. I mean, I could do a darker one, technically. That's a different kind of thing. I don't think I've done a different colored border where I've gone darker. So those ones we set up today, so they don't count. This one was the same as the header. This one was the same as the header. This one's the same as the header, same as the header. Lighter, 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 lighter. Same as the header, same as the header. Lighter, lighter. Same, same. Light, light. Lighter, lighter. Yeah, I haven't done any ones that have been darker, which is interesting. So, I think for this, do I even have a lighter teal? I guess that's a really good question to start with. If I'm going with a lighter teal, it's going to have to go like super much lighter, like 291, which I'm going to be using to do my lines anyway, so I might as well get 291 out, which is in my pen stash in my pencil case. This guy here. So I think I need to erase that some more. I think I'm going to go with a poll. You guys are going to help me. Okay, so do we go with a border that's the same color as the title, or do we go with a border that is a paler 291 kind of color? So I'll swatch them out for you so you can kind of see what they are. So this is the darker one, which is going to be like that. And this is the lighter one, which is going to be like this. Okay? So, hold it up so you can see the colors. So these are the options. We're going to go with dark, or we're going to go with light for the border on this page. And it's just this one page, okay? So chucking in a poll option, starting the poll. Are we going to go with the light, if I can type it, or are we going to go with the dark? Dun-dun. The question mark is the question because I couldn't be bothered typing it out. Alrighty, in the meantime, tink. I am planning on doing lines on this page, and I'm going to probably do a cut as well down the middle. So I'm going to put the cut in while we think about what it is we want to do. There we go. Go all the way down. This is one of my favorite dividers because it's just easy, but it still looks kind of decorative. So it's just every second line is like a dash, and then in between each of the dashes you just put a dot. And then it's just simple and decorative and nice to look at. There we go. Alright. So the vote's coming in. Alrighty, we've got 25% for light and 75% for dark. There seems to be a definite preference here, but I don't know, the tides could turn. They could go the other way. Let's keep the vote going. In the meantime, I'm going to go and put in my horizontal lines. Whoopah, abuse. Slightly hurt my microphone by being too aggressive. Alright, so we want this guy in here. Whee! Cattywampus. And we don't want it to go all the way to the edge. We want it to go to there. Ta-da. 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 I think this is, yeah, the first time I put in a teal page where I've actually written out a proper title on the page too. And that's why I don't like those pages from before. They don't match the rest of the kind of general setup. And because they do not match, I do not like them as much. This teal is more punchy than I thought it was going to be, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Whee! I have to make sure I don't put one too close to the bottom of the page, but actually this fits perfect. Perfection. Perfection. Alright, it does seem to be a distinct, like, swing towards the dark side. Gosh, guys. I stepped away for a second and now there's a poll. We're voting on the border for the page and whether it should be the punchy saturated one that we have for the title or whether it should be the lighter version that we have for these horizontal lines that we're doing. But I do think I probably prefer having a border that's a little bit more saturated, so I think I'm with you guys. I think that that's a good choice. So we'll put these lines in and then we will close up the poll and do that border. Because yeah, I like having the general setup of the pages in the journal be fairly similar, like they're all fairly much the same, but it's nice that we can get a little bit of variance, you know, with the different colors of the pages and whatever else. I think that's also the kind of nice thing is that I start to associate a certain color with certain pages in here. So, you know, I know that my 5 minute, you know, different amounts of time for different amounts of tasks, that's a red page. I know that teal is the color that I used for my movies to watch, books to read, rah pages. I know that my what to put in a new journal setup is pink. Like, I know these kind of things. So when I'm flipping through, I can be like, oh, look, it's pink, it's the new journal page. Or like, you know, flipping through, oh, look, it's dark blue, it's the what's wrong page, so on and so forth. So it's kind of nice to have those differences between the pages and not just have them all exactly the same. When it comes to my swatch pages though, I keep these ones pretty much exactly the same every single time. They each have a black header and they have a pale grey border because I don't want any colour to distract from the swatches themselves. Yeah, many moons ago, I said that I was going to show you a title that didn't work out and then I forgot. So Calligraphs has a double, but it doesn't look weird. I think that that looks quite normal and fine for Calligraphs, but when it gets to green, this looks wrong and it irks the ever-loving heck out of me. I think that these two should be the other way around, and I'm not really too sure why, but it doesn't look right. You know, it looks like it's spelt wrong. even though it isn't. And I'm not sure why, but that's what I feel about that one. Anyways, a little throwback there. So, for our social experience wish list, we come all the way down. It's okay if it's a little bit wobbly, because it's supposed to be a little hand-drawn-esque looking. And then this guy turns over there. And it comes all the way down the side. I think this is a very cute little colour match. It's very pretty. I think it's very pretty. Coming back to the poll. Stress. Let's see. So... put those ones in. This one comes up to here but doesn't actually touch it. That looks good. Yay! Oh, I've been meaning to set this up for years. Yonks. So much time. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about that. And appreciation for your poll votings team. It's always appreciated to get your feedback on these things. So we have the social experiences wish list. That's looking pretty cute. The way we're gonna gonna put data into this one is that we're going to have those little check boxes that I can color in. So in this journal, I keep a little square for things that I want to check off and do. So this one is going to get filled with little squares to say like, hey, I want to do a high tea event. I want to go camping. I want to go on a road trip to Topor, or like whatever. As I start to think about things, I can actually put them in here. So that's kind of the plan for this layout. What are you guys talking about? We're talking about junk journals? I feel like I want to go back and like see what the original question was around this, because I'm a snoop. Alrighty, let's see. For those of you that journal, how many journals do you go through in a year on average? Ooh, great question. Alrighty, so you guys are already throwing your comments down into the chat space. We're going to put this down as the question for the day as well. So if you're here on the replay, hello Team Replay. Oh my gosh, such a pleasure to have you here. How many journals do you go through on an average year? And I'm talking all of your journals, okay? I don't know if Kayla was, but I am, okay? How many journals do you go through in a year for every journal that you use, all right? So if I'm thinking about like actual total of like completely used up, for me, it would probably be like 3 journals that I actually use to completion. This one gets used, but it doesn't get completed. Same idea with my yearly collections. It gets used, but it doesn't get completed. So completely used up, actually, that's a lie. We're going to need to add in another 2 journals to that. I completely use 5 journals in a year, but that's because I also have ones that get used for video making and like ideas and stuff like that. So that's going to be my number. I'm going to go with 5. And I'm also going to put a whole bunch of little boxes along here so that then I can go and write in some ideas for social events and check them off as I go. And I probably, I don't know, maybe would have wanted to not put these boxes in ahead of time, just in case there are any events that I want to take up multiple lines writing out what the thing is. But I can just cover that up with a sticker if I need to. It's all good. And when I say a sticker, I don't mean like a decorative sticker. I mean a white name label that I just stick over the top of it. So it's like, hey, the mistake didn't even happen. It doesn't even exist anymore. There we go. Put all of those gorgeous little boxy boys in. Love it, love it, love it. Oh dear. So, okay. I know we've mentioned it a couple times, yeah? About like the fact that I'm thinking about next year's journals and all of this kind of stuff and whatever. And just so you know, you do not have to think about it this early. That is not necessary at all. If I didn't make content for the internet, I probably wouldn't be thinking about it this early either. But because I do make content for the internet and I like to have my things out ahead of time so that people can use them as like ideas and stuff like that for making their own layouts and whatever else, I need to think about this a little earlier. So my plan is, I mean, maybe spoilers, but my plan is my new journal setup video is going to be coming out at the start of November. I did it roughly that early last year too, and that seemed to be fairly successful, so I'm going to do the same again. When I say my new journal setup video, I specifically mean my yearly collections. For For those of you who don't know what my yearly collections are, it's kind of similar to this journal here. Okay, so this journal here is the long-term collections. This is for collections that they're gonna last longer than 6 months at the very least, longer than a year. They're referenced materials for ages. Yeah, so swatches, all of that kind of thing. My yearly collections, squeaky chair. My yearly collections journal is this cheeky boy. Okay, this cheeky boy has the layouts that I want to use within the span of 1 year. So things like annual trackers, things like my 101 things list, all of that kind of stuff. So it also doesn't get used up fully within a year. Like these pages here, not this guy, but these pages here were for 2022. And then these pages here are for 2023, which means that this stuff is all left over, right? So these pages here, which are going to be for 2024, like roughly this many, those are the ones that we're going to set up and have come out in November. So I don't really need to pick a new journal for this because it's just going to go in here, nice and easy. I'm just going to put these back. I've got this little elastic here to section off the first couple of pages so I don't have to flip through them. So anytime I open this notebook, it just takes me straight into 2023 rather than having to flip through all the 2022 stuff first. It just helps me out. So this is the one that we're going to have the setup video for coming out at the start of November. Then the question is, when is the start of journal setup for my everyday journal going to come out? So my everyday journal that I'm currently using is this little square guy. This is where we put in things like the monthly log, we put in my monthly trackers, we have my daily logs where I put in, you know, like the events that are happening, have my little task lists, all of that kind of stuff. So this is the journal that I'm conflicted about. This is the journal that I'm like, do I want to go with an A4? No, probably not. Do I want to go with an A5, an A6, like a little mini baby journal? Do I want to do another square? Like that kind of thing. Currently, we have a poll going on the community tab, if you haven't seen it, to pick what size my everyday journal is, or at least get your feedback about it. I know that at the end of the day, it's technically my decision, but I can't make choices. Let's see. Social experiences wish list, though, that is on page 51. Social experiences wish list, yeah. Social experiences wish list. And that is on page 51. And the next page we're setting up is going to be on page 52, so I'm going to write 52. So I only ever list out the first page of the collection rather than listing out the page range, just because it's neater to have all of the numbers just sit in the nice little column of boxes. It's all good. So as I think of different things that I want to do with my peers or with Vogel or just like with people, that can go in here. Love it. Alrighty. Let's see. Started with bullet journal a year ago. Nice. Yeah, be very to fit in a whole year. Yeah. Tight. Right. Yeah, I think that that's one of the things that I'm kind of tossing up between. It's like, do I want to have the same number of journals that I've had this year and last year, where I've had 3 everyday journals in the year? Or do I want to try and push myself to do just 2, so it's on a 6-month rotation? Or, yeah, those are kind of the things that I'm like toying around with, but that's a future me problem, so we're not going to worry about it. Now, this is teal, if you were wondering. So this is that kind of like transition between blue and green, which means this one I want it to be like very green, solidly green, not a blue green. It's going to have to be like a yellow green so that then it doesn't look too similar to this one. Typically when I have a page that, like, you know, the collection is related to each other, it's all the same color. So like this entire spread is blue. This entire spread is that dark blue. But something like this guy, this is orange, that's yellow, because they are different collections. Same idea with this. All right, I want this one to be a very distinctly different color. So if we flip our little baby boy out, we're probably going to go with like maybe a 195 kind of a thing, because that's a nice yellow green. So we can put that one in here. And this page is going to be for holiday traditions. I thought it would be nice to have a space to actually outline what our holiday traditions are. For different holidays, it doesn't need to just be like one specific holiday period. Just so that then I had a kind of record of them. Holiday traditions. That looks a little bit tight, so I might move it over a little bit. Trad. It. I. Well, that looks a little bit weird, but that's okay. N. And S. Does the O bother me? Possibly not enough. Alright. Yeah, if you want to fit your everyday into 2, definitely switch to the B5 for space. Yeah, I know, but like... See, this is the thing with the B5, right? Like, I did the Good College try. I tried out the B5 last year. But I don't think that I utilized it as well as I could have. I think that because it was the first time that I'd actually tried to do a different size, I didn't really know how to tackle it. If that kind of makes sense. Like, I effectively just took my regular A5 layouts and just made them bigger, and I think that's not necessarily the way that I'd want to do it. So I think that if I was going to try and do a, what's the word? If I was going to try and do a B5 again, I would have to try and tackle it differently, I think. I think I would have to tackle it differently. Okay, so holiday traditions, love this for me. This is just a space to specify any kind of layouts that layouts, get out, come on, thinking, words. So this is a place for me to specify any kind of things that we do on a regular basis when it comes to holiday periods. But I think that this should also include, I'm going to put birthdays in here, even though the birthday isn't necessarily like a holiday. Yeah. Ooh, good question. Why do I write my S's from the bottom up? This is actually like a more recent development. By recent, I mean within the last like year and a bit, probably. Also, tink. I find that it's easier to get my lettering to sit in the right place. Like actually kind of touch the bottom line properly if I start from the bottom with the S. Otherwise, I end up making the top too big, or I make the top too small, and then it looks weird. So I find that if I work from the bottom up, it just kind of sits nicer, which is interesting. Let's see. So, scrolling back, because I know you guys were talking about some stuff, and now I'm curious about it. Let's see. You've got a junk journal, long-term collections, memories journal, all last more than a year. Nice. Your planner bujo, your reading journal. Yeah. See, because I've got a reading journal now too, eh? And I know that's going to last, like, as a long-term collections type thing, so heaps of stuff. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah. Let's see, 2024 is your first year journaling. Nice. Setting up your long-term collections journal, financial planning journal during the live streams. Cool. Alright, you haven't started your everyday journal yet. Yeah, absolutely no need to as well. Like, I need to start thinking about mine earlier, because I know that I just don't have time to set it up in late November and December, because I'm going away in December and we're doing Vlogmas. So like, you know, don't have a thing. Yeah. Yes. So, holiday traditions. Do I want to, just like moving my arms, like, do I want to? I'm wondering, do I want to do it kind of like this, where I have little bubbles for different things? Or do I want to keep it quite open so that I can just add in those bubbles as I go, rather than setting up the bubbles ahead of time? Because I kind of like the idea of bubbles for this one, because it's like different holidays or different like traditions in particular would get a different bubble, if that makes sense. So it's like if I was putting in something for birthdays here, like I could put in a little bubble for birthdays, or I'd actually probably before I even put in the bubble, I'd write out like birthdays and write out what the tradition was for the birthday, and then put a bubble around the outside. Will I remember which color I used? Probably, only because this is my favorite green. Like, of my Tombos, this is my favorite green. But if it was an issue for me, I would probably just put like a little sticky note in the bottom that says like 195 or whatever color. Yeah, 195. Just so that then it's there as a reminder, which is nice. I'm just thinking that if I set the bubbles up ahead of time, I am either going to over or underestimate the amount of space that I need to have, or I'm going to not have enough spaces, or like there's just like a lot of different things to consider with that. So I'm thinking that I will want to at least do a halfway mark. Probably. Let's see. When I did bubbles last time, yeah. I mean, like, when I say last time, I mean like ages ago. Okay, so I've consistently used a centimetre gap between these, and this one has been a 1. That's got a full line between them. Whereas you do not have a full line because I put you on the half. Alrighty, okay. We're just going to chuck one in anywho. So the pen colour that I probably won't remember is going to be the, this guy. Maybe. Let's see. So this is going to be my birthday. So the tradition for my birthday, as it stands, is that on my birthday, I do a favourite things day. So I try and pack the day with my favourite stuff that I really enjoy doing, and I do as many of those things as possible, and just have a really nice, enjoyable little day to myself. Now, do I write this, just checking, do I write it all the way to the edge of the box, or do I write it one in from the box? We love consistency. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one I wrote right up against the side of the box. And this one I wrote right up against the side of the box. But I wrote them up against the side of the box with a bullet. And I'm not doing a bullet for this one. It's just a little description. So, Did you get any of the mystery notebooks from A&O? I was going to, but then I didn't. I don't really need them, but I wanted them. It's such a struggle. So, my birthday, we do a... I'm gonna write it like halfway into the box. It's fine. Have a favorite things day. I need to get the pencil out so that I make sure I don't go too far. You've gone too far. Yeah. And we can erase the pencil later. Day where I fill the day with as many of my favorite things as is possible / reasonable. Because yeah, like sometimes you just like can't like sometimes you just there are some things that your favorite stuff and you just can't do it. So in terms of outlining of this, just to check, I know that on the last time I did it, I went to the half underneath, and I kind of like that. And then when I did it in this one, I just went all the way under, and that looks a little tight. So we're going to go to the half. So that means that it curves to the half here, and around, and to the half there. That looks good. And then we do the same on the other side. So this is the half there. And to there. That looks good. Put that around here. Whee! Smack. Whee! Smack. There we go. That's cute. So on my birthday, my little tradition, my little holiday tradition for the holiday that is my birthday, not a widely recognized holiday, is to have my little favorite things day. Alrighty, looking cute. Alrighty, we had a question. Okay, so, curiosity question, why do you get apologetic in your videos when saying brain dump? I don't think I'm all that apologetic. I just know that people don't necessarily like the term. So, I don't necessarily apologize for it, but I just give them alternatives of what they could call it. Because I know that it just makes people think of things that aren't so pleasant, you know? It's kind of like, I think that brainstorm was a term that I think has different meanings depending on who you talk to as well. To me, a brainstorm is when you kind of try and idea generate and think of a whole bunch of things about a topic or thing. Whereas I think that brainstorm in the context of neurodivergent people is something different, I think. I can't remember. Aw, that's so exciting, Britta! Well, happy birthday to your niece. That's like, happy birthday to my I don't know, birthday twin that isn't necessarily in the same year. Alright, so I love that. Yeah, a craftcation weekend. That's so lovely. Aww. Yeah, just a time to get better together with your busy schedule. So yeah, having some time to actually be able to connect with people like that is really nice. That's excellent. So that's my birthday one. And then if we think about like a little kind of Christmassy one possibly. Let's see, where's my pen? There we go. Get my pen out. So I'm going to put down, did we do a line separation? I don't think we did last time, but I feel like I would like a line separation. So I'm going to put a line separation in. We're going to say that this is a Christmas breakfast. Right? So I could write Christmas, but then I feel like I'd have to list out all of my Christmas traditions at once. I would rather just write in like specific things about like the Christmas period. So Christmas breakfast is one of the traditions we have. And then we have like, I don't know, probably other traditions that are a lot less well formed, but Christmas breakfast is very traditional. They're like super traditional. Something that we do like quite often. Yeah. Yeah, brain dump, mind unwind, brain drain, etc. Month to month, depending on how you feel. Fair. I will often call it a brain dump because I'm not really upset about the term. Like, that term is fine to me. But sometimes I'll call it a mind unwind. Mainly because I like the kind of rhyme. Mind unwind, mind unwind. Anyways. So Christmas breakfast is always chocolate. That is all we will write. Chocolate breakfast. Either in the form of actual chocolate, chalky from your stocking, or as chocolate pancakes. Yum, chocolate pancakes. And the chocolate pancakes have to have ice cream. Otherwise, what the heck was the point? There we go. So those are our two little traditions that we have written down now. And this curves around, and it comes to the halfway. And similar idea with this one. Whee! There we go. Now I do, now as it's in, think that that gap looks a little bit weird and a little bit too big. But once I start putting other ones in on the side here, which are going to be a centimeter away anyway, that's actually going to look more reasonably spaced. Yeah. So that looks kind of cute. Those are the two little traditions we have written in so far. As I kind of formalize and think of the previous ones, the other ones, words. As I think of more, I'll put them in. That's the general gist. We do need to add holiday traditions to our index, though. Look at us go. You know, actually, what we actually have to do is go and fill in my 2323s in 2023, because one of the things in there is to make collections. So 52 is holiday traditions. Now, as I've said that, did I actually fill in that I'd done all of them? Oh, Amy, yay! Welcome to Team Tiny Wins. That's so exciting. Thank you, and welcome to the team with a capital T. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. So exciting. And now you have your little conical flask beside your name. Looking very cool. Alrighty. So, with that much exciting news, so I think that there is a possibility, let's see. So this guy here, this is my 2323s in 2023, so 23 things to do 23 times in the year of 2023. And one of those is JFF, so just for fun, or long-term collections layouts, LTC. So we need to flip on over to that one, which is here, and we can write down the collections that we've been making together today. So this was the reset process brainstorms. We set up that collection. And it's not populated yet, but it has been set up, and that's what we're doing. Like, the layout has been made. Reset processes, and then the shit I say layout, and we have the social experiences wish list. I can spell experiences. Wish list. And then we had the holiday traditions list. Holiday traditions. So the nice part about the way I've set this up is that I actually have a space to record each of the happenings for these 2323s, just so that then I actually know when I have put a dot down on this, what it actually relates to. So I've actually listed out all of the different long-term collections or just for fun layouts that I've made throughout the year, so that I know when they have actually been counted over here. So we need to put in some dots, some little dots. Where's my pen? Where did you put it? It's right there. You're fine. Okay, so we have up to 22 done. ... Yay, look at the progress. We're just going to ignore the fact that some of these are looking a little bit lowly. It's fine. But other ones, ding, 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 we've hit the top already. So that's pretty cool. Yay. We're going to move over here and continue on with all of the awesome that is setting up our collections. Let's see. Yay, just tuning in, but yay for alive. We're glad that you made it. Yay, I'm still on. Yes. Always. Okay, not always. This is a marathon. We've got collections to make. Tink. Let me think. Oh, brain burrow. That's cute. I like a rabbit theme. I was going to say a rabbit, but a rabbit is not what I meant. So after holiday traditions, we're then into foodie bits, stuff that is related to food. So this one is going to be healthy foods that don't suck, and this one is going to be my favorite meals because they do not often overlap. Let's see. Aw, thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate me, and I appreciate you too, Amy. All right, so we're gonna erase some of this mess that we've left up here. But this guy is healthy foods that don't suck. This guy is favorite meals. So for the yellow, so that it actually shows up, we're going to use a beautifully punchy yellow. My favorite yellow is 025. It's a lot more kind of golden tone. If you want a yellow that's more of like a true yellow that's like aggressive, then probably 055 is a safer bet. But for visibility and actually being able to read stuff, we're going to go with this guy here. So, healthy foods that don't suck. I should probably have erased that before I started doing this, because the pen is really hard to get rid of. And by the pen, I mean the pencil. So with the other pens that we've used so far, it doesn't really matter so much if the pencil doesn't erase, because the color is, like, I don't know, saturated enough, punchy enough that it doesn't actually show the pencil through. Like, that's fine. The yellow, though, it totally will show through. So I'm just gonna do a fairly decent job erasing it. Like, we'll have very faint lines left behind, so that then I can kind of still see it, but I won't see it once I've actually written over the top of it, is the idea. E A L T H Y. There we go. And then foods. I can probably write foods without the thing in, so get rid of that for realsies, not for fakes. And then that don't suck is going to come after that, so I'll probably get rid of that too. There we go. Gorge. So, Kathy, subscribed for a few months now and you decided to make your own dojo. Yay! Aw, that's cool. I'm glad to hear it. Alrighty, write in a journal daily, watch the majority of your videos. There are a few. We have a few videos. And I'm glad that you guys have been getting ideas from them, because that's the aim of the game. Alrighty, F O O. Don't be fooled. These may look similar, but one of them is a capital and one of them is lowercase. D. Fine. Yes. Foods. And then the question is, do we go with a Stettler Tri Plus Fineliner, or do we go with the yellow that we're already using? I think I might go with the Stettler, which means I need to get out my other bucket of Stettlers. And I'm gonna probably go with this one. This one looks the most similar, at least by cap color. Yeah, that looks reasonable, because the other yellow is just gonna be way too pale, I think. Foods. That don't suck. Nice. So I haven't really decided how I might want to arrange this layout. Like, if I just want it as a general list, or if I'd prefer to have it in sections. See, when I've done previous food-related layouts, I usually group them by meal. So it'd be like, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, kind of a thing. But the issue with that, I'm glad that you liked the capital and the lowercase. The issue with that is that I don't think I'm going to have a similar amount for each of them. I'll probably end up with a lot less breakfasts and a lot more lunches and dinners type thing. I say a lot, but we'll see. So I'm wondering if instead of doing it in sections, I do an Alastair method type thing where we just have different columns to say what type of food it is or what meals it could be good for. So it would be one larger page with just the lines going down horizontally, and then some columns on the side where I can specify when you'd use it, or like in what instance it would be edible for. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So, in terms of the border on the last yellow one, I used the light yellow for the border on that. I think I prefer... We like the punchy border though, don't we? The punchy border is kind of nice. Yeah, see, I like vegetables, fruits, meals. See, because to me it's gonna... meats, sorry. For me, it's probably gonna be more like a meal. So it's like the meal would have all of the different things in it. And I know that healthy is a very broad term. It's more just things that I know aren't, like, I'm gonna say junk food, but it's not necessarily quite what I mean. It's things that I know are actually, like, nourishing. I hate that word. I think it sounds weird. Nourishing for the body. It has the vitamins, minerals, proteins, and all of the good stuff that the body wants. It's what the plants need. So, not a BK King box, which admittedly does have protein in it, but it also has everything else that is not so good for me. There we go. And curve that around so we can make it this. Beautiful. What a lovely punchy yellow. That just makes my soul happy. Such a good pen. Such a good pen. Alrighty. So yeah, I think that the Alistair is going to work, yeah? So we're going to need a yellow, a pale yellow. A pale yellow that's not too aggressive. So I'm thinking maybe like an 090 might be nice. I think that 062 might be a little bit too bright. Like this is 062, which is, it's nice. But I think that this guy who's just a little bit fainter is probably more the vibe. I know that probably doesn't look super different. I mean, maybe it does. It might look different enough on camera. But yeah, like this guy. Yeah. Yeah, we love a punchy border. Punchy borders are great. So, this is looking cute. We are going to do the Alistair aspect at the end. Am I convinced? Am I convinced by that? Part of me wants to do it at the start, and then we can just do it based on meal. But then, what if I want to add more Alistair aspects? Like, what if I want to be able to specify the type of meal it could be for, but then also want to be able to specify, like, is this vegetarian, or is this, I don't know, dairy-free, or whatever. I don't know. So I think I'm going to do it at the end, just in case there are extra pieces of information that I end up wanting to include. For now, though, it's just going to be, what are the words? Just going to be the meal type. There we go. I'm doing okay. She lied. So we need, splat. And I also think that I'm going to write it out rather than do symbols, because I don't think I'll necessarily know what the symbols mean. Like, I could put a tip in or something to explain the symbols, or like a post-it note or whatever, but I really want this journal to be kept super, super simple. Just so that then it's a lot easier. Like, I could do breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and I know, like, BLDS. I know what that means now. But what if I end up wanting to include other stuff? Like, if I want to say that something's dairy-free, do I have to write DF? Can I fit that in? Will it look okay? All of that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking to just, like, safeguard my future self, where she doesn't really necessarily know what the heck current Jess was talking about. We're just going to put in some columns here. I'm going to put in this many columns, even though I only necessarily wanted to do breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Just because I like the idea of it being capped off properly. And that almost gives me the permission to add extra things, kind of a thing. Extra things, extra column descriptors. There we go. Use your words. So... And I wouldn't usually start from the bottom. Well, okay, sometimes I do. But the reason that we're starting from the bottom is because I want the last one to be highlighted. So to make it so that that actually happens and I don't have to try and count a whole bunch of stuff, we're just gonna put it in ahead of time. Nice and easy like. Nice and easy like. So this isn't going to come the whole way to the top because I want to be able to write those descriptors in. And I think the longest phrase so far that I'm going to have is breakfast. So we need to make sure that breakfast fits along the top of the column here. There we go. And again, we're using that beautifully light light yellow that's not going to be super standouty. Like, it stands out enough that I can see it, but it's like, if I go cattywampus, if it gets a little bit skew-if, it's not going to end up being a big deal, because the cheerleader effect will take care of it. So we don't need a huge amount of space to write in that header, but we do need a couple of rows. So just thinking about where I want to actually stop this so that then we have enough space. So if I draw one more in, I'm going to have 4 to write in. Will that be enough? Yeah, it'll be fine. Can't put my handle on the edge of the journal anymore. Alrighty, that looks cute. Love it. So, like, this space here is just going to be no man's land, and that's okay. I could, in theory, fill it with some kind of decoration and stuff, but again, I do not want to put any kind of washi or anything like that in this notebook, and that is why I don't like this page, even though the washi is beautiful. It doesn't match. Rage! Anywho, yeah, it's been 84 years. Yep, I need to put that in. It's been 84 years. I was rooting for us. I'm glad that they popped into your head, and I might be able to add them too. So, this guy here, we're going to do breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. We're going to put snack at the end. Snack. Dinner. Lunch. Breakfast, which I can't spell. I wrote breakfast, but it's fine. I know what I mean. It doesn't matter so much. And then we're just going to write vegetarian. So I can record them based on that. And then down the side, we're going to need some of those cute little dots. And then in terms of the dots, what color? We're going to probably just use the yellow that we had before. If I can find it. Where did I put you? I don't think this is the right yellow. I don't want to use that one. Okay, we'll use this one. Okay. So it matches the vibe. Yeah. And I think we might have a fairly similar setup to the favorite meals one. So that then, one, they get matchy-matchy. We love that. But also, I don't necessarily know how much space I need for each of the different meal types. And then if you have like a separate thing for lunch and for dinner, what happens if something is good for both lunch and dinner? Yeah? All of that kind of thing. So I'm not too sure at this stage. Also, tink. I'm not too sure at this stage what other things I want to include up here. Like, I have some ideas, but I think it's like, I don't want to put it in and then have it not actually be used or be useful. So I kind of need to see what kind of things I actually end up recording first, and then think about which ways it might be good to categorize them, I suppose. I tinked way too early because I started talking before I'd even had a drink, so double tink. Breakfast for dinner is great. Exactly. Like, what if I want to have breakfast for dinner? So, we said I had to go back and put this in. It's been 84 years. And there was another one, but I can't remember what it was. There we go. That's the main one, though. That's the main one. Alright. So, healthy foods that don't suck. Looking cute. Love that for us. And then, as I fill that in, I can then see which categories I might actually want to use. Also, how dare you order bubble tea and not get me one? I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Alright. So, healthy foods that don't suck. And then this one's favorite meals. But it is not the same. So, it will be a different color. And that color will be orange. And what color of orange do I want? Do I want aggressive orange? Yes, sure, why not? Let's do aggressive orange. Aggressive orange. The aggressive orange. Favorite meals. Because we have a couple of different, I was going to say flavors, that's not quite what I mean. We have a couple of different options for oranges. So my original favorite orange was 933, but then as my rainbow preferences developed, it became 925. 933 is still, like, objectively, I think 933 is a nicer orange, but in terms of the way that I like to do my rainbow, 925 actually matched better. So that is what we are using. It's more of a red orange. Favorite meals? Making the beautiful pen noises. Let me play the sound of my pen, people. Oh. You. Whoop, that went a little high. That's fine. R. I. T. E. Meals, because these are the kind of foods that I like for long enough that there's not going to be a chance of them not being my favorite meal. You know how you have a particular okay, actually, tell me if you relate, where you have a particular food that you just get completely absorbed into. You're like, oh my gosh, this is my food, I'm gonna eat this all the time, and then like 2.5 weeks later you're like, you know what, I'm over it, I'm done. Like, those foods do not belong on here, but other foods, the foods that they stick around, the ones that we really, really love, they get to be on this list. That was annoying, because it didn't get pressed down properly, and then I tried to go over it like a fool, and now it's like thicker than the other parts next to it, but it's fine. It's not fine. I'm devastated right now. I don't think I'll recover. I like how that S looks like it's upside down. Anyways, so favorite meals is looking cute. We need to put a border on the page, and then we're going to set it up pretty much the same way here. Yeah, I know, right? You get really into it and you're like, I love this food is the greatest, I'm going to eat it for every single meal, and then of course you do, and then your body's just like, no, I'm done. We're dropping this food. We don't care for it anymore. There we go. Get rid of that pencil. 3 little eraser balls. Get out of here, eraser balls. Better. Yeah, fixation foods. There we go. That's a good name for it. I like that. Sushis. So many omelets that you still have an issue with eggs. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I need a border. We're going to put the same orange as the border. Oh, beautiful orange. So lovely. So punchy. I feel like punchy should be one of the things that I put on my list of things that Jess says way too often. And rotating it again. I don't know if you heard that. My stomach was just like in response to me making pen noises. Whee! Alright, that looks cute. So, one of the issues that I have with the orange, okay, is that this is the light yellow. Looks great. Love that for us. Absolutely gorge. When it came to last time I did an orange page, I used this as the light color, and tell me if you see what I see. I don't know if you'll be able to, but when I look at this, it gets bands of other colors in it. I feel like we need one that's like more. Do I have one that's more? Here we go. Oh god, just looking at that makes me like a little bit bleh. But like when I look at this, I get bands of like green and pink running through the orange. I don't know why. So I don't want to use this one again. Because yeah, it's just like does this weird like eye trick, and I don't understand why. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna have to pick a different orange, a pale orange color. So I'm thinking maybe like I could try with 910. 910 looks super light though. I don't think it's quite as light in real life. You know, it might be. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll try it. Or I could possibly do 912, but 912 might be a little bit too aggressive. Yeah, I'm glad that you can see it when I point it out. But yeah, it's this like weird eye trick. It's a weird eye trick. I don't like it. So for this one, we're gonna do possibly 910 because that's fairly light. Like it's quite light. I feel like I need a new 910 as well. Ugh, need to like replace some of my Tombos. Go on a little Tombow adventure. That looks a lot better. It's still an orange. It's still present enough, but it's not gonna ruin my life. So favorite meals, I think we'll just do the same number across. So that'll be 3, and it comes up to there. 1, all the way down. Yeah, this is a much better choice. I wish I had made this choice for the other pages, but alas, what's done is done. Go 2 and 3. How many of my favorite meals will be vegetarian? Haha, not very many, I don't think. Unless it's like a snack or something like that. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys can see what I was talking about, because I don't think it does quite the same effect on camera, but it is still a thing. Might need to shake down my pen ink again. We're losing some of that saturation. Alrighty, time for the good shake. We're just trying to flick the ink to the bottom of the pen. I need to put this on my list of ones to replace, I think. This is the thing, like, it does work well enough for the majority of stuff that I need to do, so it's not really like a big priority. But for these horizontal lines, it's just a lot nicer when you have a consistent amount of ink in the nib of your pen. Because Tombos, while originally they said, like, yeah, you can store them right way up, it's totally fine, they are better stored horizontally. And I think that they now reflect that on their website. But their carry case is very much designed to be upright. And that's what I have my pens in. By carry case, I mean this guy here. Yeah. Which you then has like a lid that you can clip onto it so you can carry it around and stuff. So like that guy is pretty much designed to be kept vertical, with the pens vertical. But that means that the pen ink kind of over time, gravity takes its toll on the pens, and the ink flows out of the tip, which means every so often I just put my lid on the pen container and then just like flip it upside down because the pens don't come out of their holders far enough to actually like fall out or anything once you've got the lid on. But it's just, yes, an opportunity to make sure that all of the pen ink kind of can flow back to the direction it's supposed to. So we'll put that one away. We want to write breakfast, lunch, dinner, no, snack, dinner, lunch, breakfast. Snack. And we want to spell breakfast right this time. That'd be nice. Snack, dinner, lunch, break, fast, and vegetarian. I would like to get more vegetarian meals on my list of things that I eat typically, but you know, that's something. Let's say you can keep it within the lines. Yeah, it's certainly a skill that I developed over time. I know that when I first started journaling and seeing people do that, I was just like, oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to do that. It's like, it looks so cool and I like don't have the skills. But over time I have been able to train myself to be able to do it better. So we can just put some little orange dots in here to make it match. Oh gosh, I love it. It's one of those things, I have my long-term collections, I come in and check things off every so often, and like I'll refer to my pen swatches pretty often, because, you know, building color palettes and whatever. But in terms of actually setting up new collections, life happens, and I just don't get around to it. So it's been nice. It's nice that we're getting to do these things here together today. I am having a good time, and I hope you are too. There we go. If you are having a good time, make sure that you like this video. Unless you don't want to. That's fine too. I'm not gonna make you do that. So, we have that in, looking gorge. We can go and add those to our list, and the list being the index. Kukui. Alrighty. Chuck them on our index. So this is page 53 and 54, and they are separate things. Jess factor is too strong. I'm sorry. I apologize for my factor being too strong. 53 and 54. I'm just going to tilt this so that I don't lean in the ink. Go. And this one was healthy foods. They don't suck, but we're just going to write healthy foods. And favorite foods. Excellent. So, once I'd gotten to this point, when I was going through my, I need to think about things that we want to set up in this video so that I come in with a bit of a plan, I then got on to, I'm pretty sure, a very big favorite kick. Ooh, if I'm gonna list my favorite foods, I should list my favorite everything else. Mainly because, okay, you know when people ask you, hey, what's your favorite movie or something like that? They don't actually mean, what's your favorite movie? What they actually mean is, what is a movie that you enjoy so that we can possibly, connect on that level. But some of us just take the question way too literally, and we're like, oh my god, what is my favorite movie? We have to get out every movie we've ever watched and, put it in a prioritization matrix to figure it out. No. What I would like to have is I would like to have just lists of things that I genuinely loved, really enjoyed. They were my heavy hitters, top of the bar kind of thing. So I want a list of movies that I loved, games that I loved, TV shows and songs. The reason that I'm not putting books in here is because I have a reading journal now. I'm going to put that somewhere else. There we go. You have a top 5 movies list and you can't whittle it down. It's totally fine. Not gonna make you. 5 is a hand, so that makes good sense. Let's see. So I would like to have lists of those things, mainly so that then if I'm in a mood, let's just say I'm not feeling it, not having a great time, and I'm just I just want something to kind of pick me up. I think it would be really good to have these lists there as references. A place where I can come and be feeling shitty, I just want to watch a movie, I don't know what I want to watch, and I can come to this list and be these are the ones that just filled your heart with happy, okay? This is your happy heart list. So, favorite meals was orange, which means movies that I loved is red. Red. For red, I have a personal favorite of 845, so that is what we are going to use. So, oh gosh, this is new, so it's very, thin and squeaky. I apologize. E. I like to have a reference for the E, but I've moved everything over, so here we are. Movies. And I want to put this in the what's the word? Stetler, rather than doing the, this guy. Movies I loved. Do I want to keep it on the top line, or do I want to put it in the middle? So these ones that I've done so far, they've been on the top, so when the border comes around, it doesn't go past there. The Tombo mating call, that is a perfect way to describe it. Anyways, so do we want to do it like this, where it goes on the top line, Or do I want to do it something similar to... I know there's one of you in here somewhere, you snake. Where are you? We're trying to find an example for the good people. Rude. I feel like I've done it on the top most times, so I should probably just keep it on the top. But see, these two were in the middle. Yeah, and that looks weird. Don't like it. We're doing it on the top. Ooh, Practical Magic. That's a great movie. I love that. Movies I loved. And we'll do that consistently for each of them. There we go. Movies I loved. And then we'll do the border in the same punchy red, because we love a good punchy border. That is what we've decided is the vibe. And this one is going to be a list that's in 2 halves, because it's just going to be a place to like dump all of the movies that I really enjoy. Whee! Tombo mating call. And curve. I don't know if it's super noticeable on camera, in the sense that it probably isn't, but I'll show you. The other day, aka yesterday, I came into here and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just try and put in some page numbers for my journal, and I managed to stuff this one up so you can possibly see that it has a little sticker over the top of it, so then I could be like, okay, here's the correct number. And then I flipped over the page and I stuffed up the next one as well, so I'm like, cool, they both got stuffed up. Wah, wah. But it's fine, it's all good, it's okay. There we go, put that back down there, turn our autofocus off and continue on with our borders. Oh god, that was a bit sad. It's just like, haha, tiny indent, cattywampus station, wah wah. It's fine. That went a little bit low, but that's okay. I'm gonna try and bring you back to where you should be, child. There you go, you're good. So that they can line up. Come across here. Clunk. Gorge. Love it. Let's see. Investment in character arcs in the series over movies. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Watching more series than movies, but definitely Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I hadn't seen that. So I'm doing, yeah, got movies, games, TV shows, and songs is where I went to. Because I'm like, if I did podcasts, the page would be very empty. I only listened to like 2 different podcasts. And if I listed podcast episodes, like, I don't think I'm really going to want to come back and re-watch those. Like, that would be a bit weird. So that's what I'm doing. Ewan McGregor, your song, yes, absolutely love it. I love Moulin Rouge. For the longest time, that was my favorite movie. Like, when people asked me, what's your favorite movie? Moulin Rouge. And then if it wasn't that, what was the other one? He's Just Not That Into You was just like a great, I really enjoyed that one. And also, the other one, The Holiday. Like, those would be the top 5 that I would say, like, hey, these are my favorite movies. It's good to just have go-tos to be able to spout off. But, yeah. Nowadays, if people ask, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Please hold caller. We're going to put that down as a full line. And that means you're a full line, and you're a full line. Oh, boy, There we go. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. We're happy, happy, happy. The Matrix and John Wick, nice. I like Keanu Reeves. He just seems like a good egg. Like, you know? I that's what I reckon. My Fair Lady, that one was like childhood favorite. Like when I was smaller, quite like that. Pitch Perfect series, absolutely excellent. Tink. But then also there's like the animated movies that are just kind of favorites. Like I really love Tangled. I really enjoy Atlantis. Treasure Planet, such a vibe. She's the Man's a great movie. I just watched Sydney White and it is trash. Like, I've seen it before and I knew it was trash, but like, I loved it. It was great, but it was trash. A lot of my favorite movies are actually just trash. But anyways, it's like junk food for the soul. Like soul junk food, brain junk food. Let's see. There was another film that I was thinking of. The Road to El Dorado. That's great too. And Tarzan. Oh my gosh. The soundtrack in Tarzan hits me straight in the feels. Like, right in the feels. Okay, we need a pink. Like a pale... We don't need a pink. We need a pale red, okay? That's what we need. Do I actually have a pale red in another pen color? I wonder, do I have like... Maybe what's the word? A calligraph that's a pale red? Because like when I do my red listings, they're all the very like punchy, like and neon, but mainly the punchy tones of ones. So it's not the pastel red, because pastel red just ends up in pink. So I need to find like maybe berry mist. That would be kind of like a red adjacent. But haha, good luck finding that. Because half of the pens aren't named. I don't know if the berry mist is named. So let's just schlop these out. I tried to put a little sticker on it, but the sticker keeps coming off. Okay. Oh, you know, I made such a fuss that it was going to be so sad. And it was the first one I pulled out. Well, you know, the first one that I pulled out that was even possibly close to the color that I was looking for. Oh no, they're all falling out. Oh no. I need a new pencil case. I was telling Monica about this yesterday and she said I wasn't allowed one, but I think I need one. I think that a new pencil case would be a great idea. So I'm thinking that berry mist might be a good possibility for my highlight lines, but now as I look at it, it looks a little bit subdued. Oof. Yeah, compared to that guy, he doesn't look quite right, does he? Whereas if I use Tombow 850, that looks a little bit better. Okay, we're gonna do that one instead. I tried to use a pen that was from a different collection. Like, you all saw it. It's a little fleshy. Yeah, it's not right. It's not right. Alrighty. The grayscale page is really pleasing to look at. Yeah, I thought that this was one of the best projects that I ever did in this journal because it's just so convenient to be able to come to them and be like, okay, I need to find a pen in this color, but I don't need it to just be from Tombow. So, where were we? Here. Okay, so, put this, let's see, we want them here. Because this is the thing, like, this is going to go next to the pink page, because in my reverse rainbow cycle, I do pink as the intermediate between red and purple, even though there's no pink in the rainbow, really. But I want to make sure that the second line highlights on this page for the red are not the same as the pink highlights for the pink page, because that wouldn't be the business. It would look a little strange, to be honest. But the nice part about this pink, though, is that it does seem to be a lot more kind of like red-orange tone than it is red-pink tone. Or like purple-pink, if that makes sense. Yay! So, okay, if you haven't set up a long-term collections journal, but you're thinking about it, do you think that you would go with a style that's kind of like this, where it's a little bit more kind of simplistic? Each of the pages looks fairly similar to each other. Like, I can understand that people might get a little bored if all of the pages look similar to each other. So would you do that, go with kind of very similar? Or would you be more inclined to make your pages a little bit more decorative? Because this is a journal that's going to last you a while, like, you know, it's in the name, it's a long-term collections journal. Would you rather it be something that was a little bit more special, you put a little bit more time and effort into the pages? Or would you be more inclined to do something like this, where you just go like, nah, we're going to keep everything like super, super simple and super, super similar? Yeah? Because this is where Rachel and I differ, yeah? She wanted her long-term collections journal to be one that she put a lot more effort into the pages and made them a bit more decorative and they were a bit more special, whereas I'm just like, no, if I'm going to use this, they just need to all be kind of the same. Also, you can answer that question if you've already got a long-term collections journal. That's fine too. I would just be curious to know. Alrighty. Question was, did you get prezzies on your birthday? Are you willing to share? I got a present from Vogel's parents. They got me some vouchers to a cinema that's in, like, close-ish by. So we can go, like, see a movie kind of thing. Or maybe a couple, depending on... I don't know how much the vouchers are for, but we've got that. Vogel hasn't got me a present because he couldn't think of an idea, kind of. Like, he thought of an idea, but then I was like, yes, but I'd like to pick it out for myself. So now we, like, kind of have to go out and go get that. Emily got me a fake potted plant because I wanted one. Because the present that my parents have gotten me, or are contributing to, are some shelves for my office, and on those shelves I wanted to put a fake plant. So Emily got me a fake plant. It's very cute. So yeah, that's what I got for my birthday. So, yeah, let's see, what do we guys get? So not decorated at all, a bit more decorative, simple, because yeah, you won't keep up with it if it's too complicated, completely fair. Yeah, your biggest issue at the moment is deciding the actual journal you want to use. Fair, completely understand that. Let's see, yeah, decorative, because if you make a mistake, it'll be, yeah, you'll notice it if it's more minimalistic. That's completely understandable too. Yes, there is a pink in the rainbow of our hearts, and that is why Games I Loved is going to be our pink page. We need to decide which pink. That's also very important. So, let's see, what else did you guys have to say? Yep, not decorated, yeah, list vibe similar to mine. Cool, love it. Decorative, yeah. So we've got a really good mix. I love that. I think that I can totally understand why, if this is something you're going to keep for a really long time, you'd want it to be more decorative. It's like, it's a really special journal. You're putting a lot of effort into making it look presentable. Whereas for me, I'm like, this is effectively a glorified list book. So... a list book and reference book. So I just want to be able to chuck things in really simply. And I didn't want to have any kind of barrier to setting new stuff up, considering, you know, life is busy and all of that kind of thing. So in terms of the pink, I'm gonna go with okay, first of all, I think I need to decide my highlight pink first, because last time we had a pink page, we didn't do highlights because it was this guy, and then the previous time we did pink, we had very soft highlights. So you can see I hope you can see the difference here. I don't like this light color border. I might want to change it. Do you think I could go over the top of it? Do you think it'd be weird? Let's try. You know, if we try, we're committing, but... look at how much nicer that punchy border looks. The thing here is trying to keep it in line with what I've already drawn in. Like... oh, that just looks so much better, like, in my personal opinion. I think that the punchy border is where it's at. There we go. Gorge. So, the last time we did this, though, we used a soft pink, which I assume was either 800, which that looks too... I feel like 800 is, like, super, super pale. Let's see. 800 is, yeah, like, non-existent pale. And then 761... ooh, okay, my 761 is new. And that's why it is as punchy as it is. So it must have been the 800 pink. Okay, alrighty, 800 pink. Alright, we'll use 800 pink, it's fine. So if I'm using 800 pink, which is aggressively pale, then I'm going to want to have a combination with that kind of matches. So I don't think I want anything that's like too aggressive. This one was probably... ooh... either 723 or 703, probably 703. Yeah, 772. I could use it, but that's what that needs replacing, because you see, okay, you know what we were talking about before with the idea that when you put something down it makes multiple lines? Can you see that? You see that like very faint kind of line on the side there? It's not like a clean color, so it's gonna end up being a little bit messy. So I think for this one we're gonna use the 800. It's gonna be super pale, but I can go over it twice if I want to. Kind of similar to what we did in July, yes, with the donuts theme. June, July, I don't know. Whichever one is Pride Month. My mind escapes me. But yeah, we're gonna stick with the 800 for this because my 772 needs replacing. Is that on my list of pens to replace? I know that I had another one that we were supposed to write down, right? Did I actually write it down? I don't remember. 725. What's 725? Oh, does my pink need replacing? No? Yes? Not maybe? I've written it down, so obviously it needed replacing enough that I wrote it down. Yeah. Oh, that's so upsetting. Yes, there we go. There we go, that's June. Good, yeah. I get confused between June and July so often. It's problematic. So we said that we need to get 725, 100%. We also need to get 772. So I remember, next time I go to the Tombow shop, I can make sure that I grab some of those. All good. Okay. So if that is the pink that I'm going with, I do quite like that soft pink, but I think I just want something a little bit more punchy because it's like, it's games I like. Boo, yeah, hiss, let's go, fight the power. So we're going to do a nice, you know what, I'm going to go with the 725, just like give it its time in the sun. Look at how punchy that is. Beautifully punchy. Play the sound of the tombos. Tombow mating call. Games. And then in terms of the lettering here, we're going to need a Statler. And that Statler is going to have to be a nice punchy Statler as well. Yes, and the Tombow mating call. I find that sometimes they're okay, and most of the time they're not. I could do a Papermate Flare. That's a nice pink, but it's not thin enough. So, going all the way back to our Statlers. The only one in the pink that is kind of a punchy pink is the magenta color, so we're going to have to go with that. Wherefore art thou? There you are. Okay. So this is just games I loved. V-E-D. Da, 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 da. And then we can do the border that is actually a divider straight down the middle. Alrighty. That is 6.5. Clink. Excellent. Sad about my 725. It's so dried out in the nib. Poor baby. Who did this to you? I know it was me, but who did this to you? There we go. Cute. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I love it more. There we go. So, in terms of the outside edge, I'm thinking, like, do I want to use this guy? Because, like, I've used the same color as the header for this page, which is fine. But this is very thick compared to that one. So I'm either going to have to try and apply less pressure, or we're just going to have to deal with it being thick, or we're going to have to, like, I don't know. I could use a different color, but I kind of just want it to be the same color, so I'm going to try and apply less pressure. which feels very foreign to me. I just want to press down aggressively and make it make the Tombow mating call. But it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Oh, this is a lovely, lovely aggressive colour. Such saturation. Much wow. Much wow. That's something that Vogel says. You know when there used to be the Doge memes? Where, I don't know. If you know the Doge memes, you know what I mean. But Vogel used to always say, like, he'd say much wow as part of the Doge meme, but it just didn't sound right, and it would always make me irritated. It's like an odd story. Anywho, yeah, so that looks great. We can erase the pencil underneath here, and I think that I did a fairly good job of not applying too much pressure, because you can kind of see that the thickness of the game's header is, I don't know, distinctly thicker than the border. I think that I did a pretty good job not applying too much pressure on that one. Now we need to go through and put in our little this guy here. Do you ever do the water trick to revive them? Please elaborate. I've never had success in bringing a pen back to life by applying water to it, so I have not tried that, but I'd be curious to learn more about this. So for this pink one, we're doing 2 passes, just so that then the pink is a little bit more saturated, because it is so super pale, and to the extent where I honestly wonder if I just need another one. I know that people told me in the June setup video that theirs was also really pale, but it's very hard to get an appreciation for how pale is pale if you don't have other people's paleness to compare to, if that makes sense. So mine is just super faint, which is not so much a problem, but I would like it to show up a little more, thus the double pass. Thus doubling my work to do on this page. At least where these horizontal lines are concerned. So this looks good though. And actually we should probably go and put in some of those dots as well, because this is not a page to check things off. This is a reference page. This is one where we write entries in as a reference. So we're going to want some of those circles like we had on the last spread with the meals. There we go. That's cute. And because it's pale, it doesn't really matter if we go outside the lines. I love it. I love it. Yes, it's like very like delightful Barbie pink. It's a nice color. It's the kind of thing that, like, I think that of the pinks that there are in the Tombow range, personal favorite is probably 755 is a really nice one. That one's more of a kind of red pink, because I prefer pinks that are more warm tone than cool tone. So this color of pink, while I do very much like it, it is more of a kind of cool tone pink. So it's got like kind of blue undertones to it. But 755 has more red undertones, and it is glorious. The pink that I don't like quite so much is 703, because that one is a very cool tone pink, and that one's just kind of like, it's okay. I think I prefer colors that have warm undertones. Maybe that's like a thing that I prefer. Shrug. You know, and then we'll go and find all of the exceptions to that rule, so let's not look into it too much. Yeah, you want all the Tombows even though you'll hardly ever use them? Yeah, Tombows are one of the things that I purchased very early into my bullet journaling journey, but they're also the ones that I have actually used pretty consistently throughout all of my journaling, so I don't feel sad about having purchased them. Things that I have purchased that I do not use super often are the mild liners, the Crayola super tips, the Karen markers, but yeah. Oh, you got the Ohuhu? I am gonna get the Ohuhu. I want to try these out. Alrighty, so we have the movies, we have the games, they're looking good. We're gonna go put those little dots in, little circles, so that we can add entries to our list. And the list bullets are already ready. So this is the thing that I do to differentiate between a list item and a task item. A list item, one that's not supposed to get checked off or anything like that, has a very small circle, a little tiny circle. So it's not like an event. You know, events get bigger circles for me, but nice little circle. I'm not going to like check it off. I'm not going to color it in or anything like that. A task that I need to do is a dot, like, and then you can cross it off when it's finished. And then in this journal in particular, an item that I'm going to cross off, I like to do with a little box. So I like color it in. So it kind of stands out a little more and I don't end up having all these X's in my journal. Like a stylistic choice more than anything. But it is how I do. Ding, 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 ding. Alright, so that one's looking good. We need to go and find the red from before so that we can do the same to the movies I loved list. Huzzah! There we go. Also, like, tink. Yeah, you prefer like a deeper royal purple. Warm but not too warm. Yeah, I know, right? I know that's the thing. I am not so much a fan of pastels, especially when it comes to like, I don't know, items that I own. And a lot of things have been in pastels recently. But I mean, like, we're coming to spring right now, so spring is pastel season, I think, typically. So it kind of makes sense. But it's not really my vibe. I prefer... It's weird, eh? Like, my favorite color is purple. I don't actually want a lot of things in purple, though. Like, if I'm thinking about, like, decor and decorations and stuff like that, I prefer a color combination of dark blue, mustard, and grey. Like, I think that combination looks good, and I like that paired with, kind of rich wood colors. Like, that kind of stuff. But, sure. When it comes to clothes, I prefer black. And when it comes to, I don't know, what other kind of things that you get in colors? Like, I think that, yeah, most of the things that I would buy, like, if we're thinking about, like, home stuff, it's going to be that, like, dark blue and wood and, like, darker wood colors, that kind of stuff. But when it comes to, like, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is purple. So, shrug. Which always leads me to question, is your favorite color purple, or are you lying to yourself? I don't know. Purple and green, though. They're great. Hulk colors. Probably not the actual shades that the Hulk uses, but purple and green. Great colors. There we go. So, movies I loved, games I loved, and we can put that on the list. And by the list, I mean the index. 55 and 56. So, that is movies. We're just going to write favorite movies. Favorite movies. Favorite games. So that is 55 and 56. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Purple is best. Very good. Excellent. This journal is an A5. Little red A5. Cheeky boy. Okay, so... Planning a more colourful theme for November. Nice. I need to start planning my November, but I haven't gotten there yet. So, favourite meals, movies I loved, games I loved, and then we're going to do TV shows I loved and songs I loved, and they're going to just be pretty much in the same format, I think. I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe I could do a full line across for songs, because song titles are kind of long. I mean, sometimes movie titles are long too. Probably should have thought about that, but I didn't. Haha, here we are. So in terms of colour though, our TV shows is going to be purple, songs is going to be the dark blue again. But in terms of which purple I want to use, I'm going to use my favourite purple, which of the Tombos is... So when I say my favourite purple, I have a specific set of colours that I like to use that are for my classic rainbow, anytime I do anything rainbow based in my journal. And my rainbow purple is 999, get out, that's 9. 665, okay? 665 is my rainbow purple. So, but if I was to say, is it my favourite purple, like as a standalone? No. Standalone. There we go. S-H-O-W-S. And then we need a nice purple for this, and it's going to be a bit darker, but it's fine. I loved. And I'm pretty sure I actually had a purple that would have matched better, but it doesn't really matter because it's all gonna get used on the page multiple times anyways, so it's all good. Goat licking? Wait, why are we licking goats? Wait. It just randomly have a silly mood. If you were trying to incorporate the no goat will lick it away saying, wait, that's a... Wait, huh? I don't think I know what you're talking about. I feel like I probably missed something. We're going to put in our little divider. This is going to have a lot of TV shows, but I mean, again, this is a long-term collections journal. It's going to last me for life. And by the time I'm 87, you know, I'll probably have watched a couple more shows that I said, you know what? I liked that show. That was a good show. Have I done this wrong? No, it's okay. You're fine. You're okay, child. You're okay. Just because TV shows comes over further. That's why I'm confusioned. Confusioned. Here we go. That looks great. Love that for us. And then we can put in our border. Alrighty. Is it not negotiable? Oh, okay. Alrighty. Oh, okay. I don't think I've heard about that. It's like it's not even your region's dialect. Okay, that's cool. Because I'm like, wait, what? I was trying to think about the saying of when somebody gives you something, like does something, and you're trying to be grateful about it and not be rude about it, or like trying not to be nitpicky about it. That idea of like, not don't bite the hand that feeds you. It's the one about like, don't look a prize horse in the mouth. Or something. I think that's how it's supposed to be said. I don't know, but I couldn't remember it, is the long story short of this. So I was saying don't kick a good horse in the face. I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to kick a good horse in the face, but that wasn't quite right though. It was not quite the saying that I was trying to remember. Alrighty, punchy purple. So beautiful. Such aggressiveness. So because when I make my rainbow, I like them to be very kind of quite vibrant, middle of the pitch in terms of dark or light. So I like this purple for it. I'm going to show you my rainbow right now. This is my perfect rainbow. Okay, so grabbing our beautiful scrap piece of paper. So this is the purple that I like for it. Oh, it's so good. Look at that. And then this is the blue. Oh, beautiful. The green is this guy. Lovely. Beautiful. The yellow is this one. Oh, so good. So good. The orange is now the 925. Is you 925? No, you're dead. You're dead to me. Rip. Rip in peace. This is the 925. Beautiful. Loves it. And then the red. I don't use a red Boo Hiss to red. I use, is it 815? No, it must be 755. This is that's the rainbow. Oh, it's so beautiful. So this is the rainbow. This is what I like to use. I like this color palette. It makes me happy on the inside. It's like, it looks more pale, quote, quote, on camera than it does in person. This is a lovely level of saturation, nice and bright, very, like, uppity in terms of its colors. But if I was to actually pick, like, a favorite purple in real life, it would be deeper, darker, jewel, royal kind of a color, if that makes sense. Very cheerful. Love this. So, moving that over here, we need to find a every second line purple. Linus. We could go with 623, but it's too blue, to be honest. I need something that's like pale purple, but a little bit more red tone, considering the purple that I've gone with for the outside edge. Which is funny because it like totally doesn't match the purple that we've used on the thing here, but it doesn't. It's fine. It's cute. It's fine. Now, purple, 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 purple. So a purple that is a little bit warmer, but still mild. See, the mild line of violet works, except that is like not the right kind of pen. Like, I know that people do horizontal lines with a mild liner, but it's too narrow, so I don't like to use it. The Artronal of Orchid is kind of the vibe, but also too saturated, so I can't use that. I'm thinking that it's probably going to end up having to be 623, which makes my soul a little bit sad, but it is what it is. 623, 603, 623, because it's slightly less blue than the other one. It might end up being the kind of thing that if this bothers me too much, I will just go over the top of this purple that I've picked with a different, I'm going to say flavor, a different flavor. They do make brush mild liners now. Maybe I'll have to get some. I don't need them, but maybe I'll have to get some. Because last time we did purple, we did like just the dark purple, and that's because I was trying to match the colors a lot more specifically. But this time around, I'm like, no, I want to do my favorite purple. Where? So 623 is what we said, right? 623, 623. It's gonna be too saturated, isn't it? It's gonna make me sad because it's newer. It's a newer pen. Yep, that is. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, we're gonna have to use the less saturated 620, which is gonna be still fairly saturated because it is still fairly new, but it is lighter, but it is more blue. Why is there no happy medium here? Why do they do this to me? Like, can I just combine the pink and the blue? Like, if I just do 800 and the palest blue I have over the top, it probably won't look right. It's not purple, it's just sadness. Why? No, it's okay. That's fine. Alrighty. Let's see. What do we reckon? Can I put the rainbow colors in the description? I probably could. What is this? You are 925. You're 025. You are 195. You are 515. Yep, 515. You are 7 something from memory. Trying to get this guy out. 755. And you are 665. The perfect rainbow. Smiley face. Alrighty. You have 10 seconds to screenshot this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I was like, can we screenshot on a telly? No, but you could take a picture of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Also, I totally didn't put my focus back on properly, so we need to do that. Alright, we don't want to give people vertigo. That's not the vibes. That's not the business. Righty, tink. Oh my god, hello. thank you for being here with us today. So I'm going to put this in, and then I'm just going to be devastated about how my purples don't match, and then I'm going to have to go back over the top with a purple that isn't my favorite purple, and I'm just going to be sad about it. That's what's going to happen. You got the screenshot so you can put it on the Discord. Excellent. If you're not part of the Discord, you should totally come and join us on Discord. There is a link in the description box to the Discord if you would like to join the Discord. There we go. So this is a very nice purple, but it is a very cool tone purple, which is not the tone that we have for the outside border of this page. Which means that, much to my dismay, we're probably going to have to go back over the top with something that matches a little better, which is not the vibe, but it's what we're going to have to do. Sad face. I need to find myself a nice pale purple pen that is a brush tip that I can do these lines with. That is going to be the right shade, the right type of hue, whatever. There we go. Okay. And the other side. And we're trying to take it fairly carefully because you can probably see that I have a couple of these that are looking a little bit cattywampus. I'm hoping that when I start writing over the top, I'm not going to mind quite so much, but because it is a little bit more saturated, I am a little bit worried about that. We'll just have to wait and see. Here we go. I do love doing an every second line highlight though. It just makes my heart happy. Okay. Wee. My hand is getting a little crampy. Don't do that. We just have some more to finish off. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so this guy here is going away so that we can pick out a purple that's actually gonna match a little bit better and probably just go over the top of it. Let's see. So that's probably gonna be 636, which is probably the one that we used last time. I mean, I could do 60. What was it? You were 620. That matches well enough, and maybe it's like a happy intermediate between 2 blue and 2 purple. All right. Oh, you're out of tea. No. Alrighty. We're gonna try. Okay. It does look a little better, and you can see some of that kind of reddish purple poke through the back. I do have to be a little bit more careful about this one because previously when we were doing the red over the top of the pale pink, that wasn't so bad because the pale pink didn't show up very well. This purple though is very punchy, the purple that we've already put down, so if I don't go over the top properly, it's going to show up. So we are trying to be quite careful in making sure that we're outlining, not just going wherever our hand wants us to go. That's the problem I find with tracing, like going over the top of something that you've already put in, is that oftentimes it's in a shape that your body kind of knows what it looks like, so it kind of starts to take over. Like for instance, in curving around this S in particular, my hand, like the muscle memory, it's like I know how to draw an S and it just goes and does whatever it wants to do. So you have to be careful about actually going over the top of it correctly. That's why sometimes they say, like, when you're doing lettering and you've penciled it in and it looks the way you want it to, you can then go and put your ink in over the top upside down. Like, turn your page around so that then you don't have your body trick itself into thinking, I know what I'm doing, and then going off on a weird tangent, if that kind of makes sense. So. It's not enough to bother me with the amount of the underlying purple that we have. But in some like if this was in my regular journal, I'd probably be a little bit sadder about it, but because this is supposed to be a little bit more loose, it doesn't bother me quite as much. And this is what I get for not picking out all of my pens ahead of time. You know, we don't just go gun-ho about this kind of thing. You know that's not the way you are. For some people, it's like, oh, this is fine. I'm like, no. For Jess, it is not fine. Yeah, it's like a brain hack. Your brain doesn't know what it's like. It doesn't trick itself into thinking it knows better, effectively. Here we go. Love it. Gorge. I think that looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit dark, like a bit, you know, more inked up than I probably would have liked it to, but it hasn't bled through, so it's okay. So, where is the purple pen? Which one? She asks. Specifically the fine liner. There we go. So this guy is going to have all of our little dots put in, and then we can do the same thing for our songs I loved, but that one's probably going to have the same color palette as what we did on the previous blue page, because we already set up a blue page today. Go to the store. Buy a bottle of hoisin sauce. Open the fridge. Oh no, I already have a bottle of hoisin sauce. Go to the store. Buy a bottle of hoisin sauce. Look at the fridge. Oh no, I already have a bottle of hoisin sauce. There we go. There we go. There is probably going to be a instance where a TV show's title is much longer than the space I have given myself for each of these lines, but if that's the case, I will just cover over the little dot that I've put in with a sticker and write on the next line. All good. There we go. That is looking zazzy. Love it. Okay. Now, songs I loved. Do I want to? See, because this is the thing with songs. Songs don't just have a title. They have, I'm going to say an author. They have a songwriter, performer, band, artist, whatever that goes with them. And I think that it's going to be important to include that so that then I actually know which version of whatever song title I've written down, because there's plenty of double ups. For the most part with the movies, like I could write the movie and then put in brackets the year if there's going to be any kind of like, which one is she talking about? Games all have fairly unique names, so it should be fine. TV shows, similar idea. I can probably just put in a year it started. No, don't really know if there are any TV shows that I'd add that would have the same names. But songs, possibly. So I'm thinking for songs, instead of having 2 columns, I'm going to give myself the full space across because of that in particular. Which does mean that I have less room, and it does mean I need to do a blue line the whole way across. But, you know, we can do it. I can do this. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Alrighty. G. And S. I don't think I ever put away the blue ones. I just left them lying on the desk, so that's kind of convenient as well. Songs oh, that's a beautiful blue. F, E. There we go. This blue is actually a lot darker than his friend. Did I use him over here? No, I didn't. No, I did. I did it for the divider. Okay, I'm getting forgetful. But that's okay. We've got it here now. I think that given how dark this is, I probably would have liked to have used a darker blue for the title, but I've used it now and it matches well enough. It's not like the purple fiasco that we literally just had where it did not match at all, okay? So that was a bit sad. Okay, if the question was about the purple, 665 was the one that I put down first, but 636 was the one that I put down second, okay? So 665 was the nice kind of red purple that we had first, the one that's part of the perfect rainbow. 636 is the darker one that we put over the top, just so that, you know, depending on which purple you were talking about, I want to make sure that you have the goods that you want. All right, put that in, put that in, put that in, put that in, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And then we can actually start thinking about populating some of these layouts so that then I don't have just this like pristine setup, not yet populated page just kind of staring at me, which I don't want. I don't want it to be staring at me. I'll put that one away. I also need to erase the pencil before I forget. And I think I've already done that on the TV shows, right? I mean, there's... Get out. Eraser balls. There we go. A little bit there. There we go. That looks better. Love it. Okay, so... Didn't you want to use the whole line? Dang it, Lisa! Lisa! Yes. Yes, I did want to do that. Ouch. My own personal feelings. It's cool. It's fine. This is only incredibly devastating right now. You know what? I think I need to take a drink. Tink. And this is why I sketch layouts ahead of time, because otherwise I do dumb stuff like this on autopilot. It's cool. It's fine. I'll figure something out. So what we're probably going to do here is that I will just leave instead of putting a dot on every single line in this one, I will only put a dot on every second line. That is one possibility. Or, like, I could go through and, like, try and fix that, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So I'm probably just going to do, like, the song title on the purple, which will be blue, and then the artist on the white. The only issue is when we get to the bottom where we have a purple with no white. It's fine. I'll just put short song titles in there. It's all good. I could always just leave it off. Leave off the dots and then just put them in wherever they need to go. They can take up as many lines as they need to. That works. We'll do that. Light amounts of devastation right now. I frustrate myself. Yeah, we could do a column for titles and a column for artists, but some titles are actually just, like, so long anyways. So, like, I think it'll just be easier to do them one after the other. I'll kind of show you what I mean when I actually go and write one in. But we're going to go and do some coloring in. Do you know which time zone A&O is located? Central. Whatever Central Time is. There we go. All right. I'm trying to think of my favorite songs now. The hard part about songs that I love, and I'm thinking more about the ones that, like, were total earworms, like, they got so stuck in my head and I'd listen to them on repeat kind of a thing. That's what I'm thinking about for these kind of songs. Because there are plenty of songs that I like, but it's like thinking about songs that I love, you know? That's a higher bar to hit. All of these blues feel like they are wrong. I don't think that they work together as well as I would like, but it doesn't matter. She tells herself as she gets increasingly frustrated at this page. It doesn't matter. Not higher. No. We're all good. We're fine. This is fine. There we go. Dee, 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 dee. So, we're thinking about songs that I really super love, and we're gonna write one in so I can kind of see what it'll look like once I actually start writing them in. Okay. So the circle dot thing that we're putting in for each of them, I'm gonna erase this first before I forget. So this guy goes on at least the first line, and then it's just going to be there for any of the ones that actually like are an entry. That doesn't make sense, but let me show you. So put the dot in, and then one of the favorite songs. Okay, we're going to go and open the Spotify, and we're going to go find a favorite song. A song, like song obsession kind of a thing. Like it has to be a song obsession. It can't just be like oh, I like this. Okay, so Random Song Obsession is Easy to Love by Bryce Savage, and it is a trash song, and I love it. So we're going to put that in. Easy to Love by Bryce Savage. Okay, so that song only takes up one line, so then the next song can go directly underneath it, and that is okay. And then the next song could be, let's go have a little Snoopy Snoop. Oh, I love Black Balloon. Okay, we're going to have to put all of the Goo Goo Dolls songs in that I love, but we're going to do Black and Gold first. So, Black and Gold. And that one is by Sam Sparrow. P-A-R-R-O. And then the next song can go on the next line. Like eventually we're going to get to a song that has like more words than just that. So that one's just going to go over multiple lines. Like Black Dress by Kiss Chasey. That was like a high school song of my childhood. So Kiss Chasey. There we go. I've literally just looked up the word black, and that's why all of them are coming up. But, like, we have to put in Iris by Goo Goo Dolls, because it's an excellent song. Iris. But if we're going to start on the Goo Goo Dolls, we're going to need to put in all of the ones I want in. And it's technically the Goo Goo Dolls, but, like, whatever. They'll be fine. They won't be. They're going to be angry at me. Don't tell them. Slide. Love Slide. And we love Black Balloon. And we love Name. And there we go. So far we're actually doing okay in terms of song titles not taking up as much room as I thought that they might. So that's kind of nice. See, that's not too bad. But then we're going to get into Fall Out Boy, and it's going to be like, there's a good reason these tables are numbered, honey, you just haven't thought of it yet. And I'm like, okay, cool. Goo Goo Dolls. There we go. So this is actually not too bad. I was concerned, and now I'm less concerned. So maybe past Jess just knew. She was in the know. She had the knowledge. Alright. We're not going to go and write in, like, everything, because there's going to be, like, heaps that are like, oh my god, I love the song. But I'm thinking, like, these need to be the ones that are, like, yeah, heavy hitters. Like, absolutely, like, Welcome to the Black Parade. When I was a young boy, etc. You guys get the idea. So, we're not going to put in all of them. That looks good for now. Excellent. So need to go and add this to my... I would go and put in all of the dots for this one, but I feel like, because I know that there are going to be some that are going to be, like, too big, it's just, they can just stay. Indexing. Indexing is important. Alright, favorite games, and then TV shows and songs. Let's see. Favorite and favorite. TV shows and songs. And it might be the kind of thing that like the songs list ends up filling up quite quickly and I have to go and add another page, but that's okay. 57 to 58. I haven't had to thread my pages in here yet. If you don't know what threading is, we do have a complete separate video on it, but the general gist is that if a collection spans multiple pages that aren't like consecutive, they're not like right after each other. So let's just say I had like another instance of this collection. So it's like, how often should I blah, 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 and then I wanted to go and add more, and let's just say that it was on page, I don't know, 38, which it isn't, but if it was, I just write 38 next to this page number, so I knew, hey, this continues on page 38. So I haven't had to do that yet. I haven't had any collections that have spanned quite that far, but eventually I might. Alrighty, this is looking cute. So holiday traditions, healthy foods, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what have we set up? We have set up my resets brainstorm. Okay, so places to put in what things I might want to do for each of these different types of reset, and then a place to outline what the purpose for each of my resets are, so that I can kind of distinguish between them, make it so that I actually know what I'm trying to get out of each different type of reset. We have the shit I say page, so for those kind of phrases that become very ingrained into my lexicon, so that then I know I have just like a record of them, effectively. It's very much like a memory kind of page, which is nice. So we've got that in here. We also have my social experience wish list, where I can go and drop all of those ideas for events or like gatherings or things that I want to do with friends or with Vogel. So we can put that in, things like high tea, things like a camping trip with my friends, that kind of stuff. We then have my holiday traditions page, where I can go and chuck down all of my little holiday traditions, partly so that I remember to do them when the holiday kind of comes up, but also more as kind of a memories page, similar to what we had with the shit I say page. Okay, so holiday traditions, so far we have my birthday and Christmas breakfast in there. And then we have healthy foods that do not suck, so that then when I'm doing my meal planning and I'm like, wow, Jess, have you even eaten a vegetable in the past 2 weeks? Okay, it won't get that bad, but if it does, then I have a space there to record those. All good. Favorite meals, which will probably be different, because this will include the things that are good for my soul, not necessarily good for my physical body. Okay? And following the favorites train, we then have the movies that I loved, the games that I loved, the TV shows I loved, and the songs that I loved, so that I can record all of those feel-good things, so that anytime I'm feeling a little low, like I need a bit of a pick-me-up, I can come back to these pages and just be like, hey, what can I do, possibly, to make myself feel a little bit better? Alrighty, team. How many was that? I mean, I know that it's not going to take me long to count them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 collections. 10 more collections for my long-term collections journal. I am going to go have something to eat because my stomach keeps on going at me. If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, please do give the video a big thumbs up. And we will be back next week for a team member exclusive live stream. So you have to be part of the team with a capital T to access that one. I will see you there. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye for now.